Previously on Dark Heresy.
The foul denizen of the warp snarled and roared, casting its gaze around at the mutant horde, unable to see the source of its torment, the psyker that had dragged it from the warp. It settled instead on Deracles and began tearing through mutants to get to the cleric. The Acolytes, remarkably, mostly held their nerve in the presence of this foul creature. Deracles was shaken, Ramsay too, and Mira, hearing the roars of the beast, turned back from her flight, rushing to aid her companions, leaping into the foul river of filth. A blessing from the God Emperor, an angelic aspect of vengeance, she tore towards the fight, filling the others with courage and giving them the will to keep fighting rather than fleeing or soiling themselves. The mutant had other ideas, it seemed, and began to flee from the demon back into the tunnels from whence they came. Vladimir used his powers to move mutants out of Deracles' way, and it was only the Iacanthan wildman, Dick Pincher, who acted particularly out of sorts, as he blasted at the ghost of a shale crow only he could see, believing it to be Tissiac, the demon of Iacanthos. It would be easy to discount his manic laughter and erratic firing as madness, brought on by proximity to the demon, had it not been for his seemingly wild shots passing straight through the spirit form of Vlad, in the form of a shale crow. As Deracles' righteous fury began to take over, the cleric, frothing at the mouth, bellowed a challenge to the demon and charged into the fray. Ishmael too had begun to work himself into a frenzy, realizing the strength it would take to overcome this beast and conquering his fear, but it was Ramsay who clambered onto the back of a pipe, unlimbered his sniper rifle, and saved the day, chambering one of the sanctified rounds given to him by Sister Superior Melee over 6 months earlier. The rattling struck down the bloodletter, casting it back into the realm from which it had spawned. With the remainder of the mutants fled or killed, the party proceeded further into the tunnels, eventually coming to a junction, spying other huge mutants like the one Ishmael had killed, passing pipes that contained more of the seemingly brainless mutants that had attacked when Ramsay opened fire. This time, perhaps wisely, the Acolytes ignored these freaks, who seemed to pay no interest in their passing. And remembering the map they made back in Strokes Manor, they turned down a side tunnel, pushing on deeper into the darkness towards Upper East Clamore. Meanwhile, Vlad had returned to the mansion of Lord Stroph's, grabbed his gear, asked Lord Stroph's for a direction down to the Upper East Clamore district. Unusually, there appeared to be a direct elevator from the Upper Hive straight to the rundown Low Hive district, if only someone had bothered to ask for directions. The rest of the party came to a junction, seeing more hulking mutants, and a stooped, ragged figure guiding lesser mutants into pipes. Ramsay and Dick overheard him speaking to them, telling them to hurry up before the pure ones came. They ignored this distraction and pushed on, following the map. Vlad arrived first in Upper East Clamore, finding what appeared to be a settlement that looked like it had been quite well off at some point, especially for this far down the Hive, but it appeared to have been ransacked and burned. He was greeted by a woman in dark glasses, heavily customized armor, who he waited with until the rest of the party arrived. Eventually, after pushing through an ancient factorum, the remainder of Cell 41 arrived, and the woman led the group to a ruined inn where you met Fingers, a cybernetically enhanced man who unlocked the data slate recovered from Volin Orday, and then taken from Orday by Theodosia, or a copy of, and then retrieved from Theodosia by you. On this data slate, along with the data you had already discovered, a list of high-profile members of the Magistratum and Ecclesiarchy, each of which had a strange alphanumeric code assigned to them, you found a second list of names, and each name was accompanied by a notation that read unviable, viable candidate, or processed, and Lord Stroph's niece sire was amongst those marked as the latter. You paid Fingers with Varak's money, who offered you his skills in the future should you need them, for a price, of course. And then you returned in the crowded lift that Vlad had used earlier. Around 1 a.m, you eventually slept. Dick, Ramsay, and Deracles each having troubling dreams. Dick dreamed of home, Iacanthos, of Tissiac, and he stood atop the hill of Stern Hope. No sign of the cathedral that stood there now, and he witnessed a great battle between soldiers of the Imperium and the Ashleen, and he watched as a vast winged beast commanded the Iacanthan savages, turning them into twisted beasts with a single wave of its claws. you saw two men leading the Imperials. One, regal in bearing, a face you've seen in countless statues since your arrival here on Scintilla. The legendary general who led the Angevin Crusade 2,000 years ago. The man who became the first governor of Calexis and was later canonized, becoming Saint Drusus. By his side stood a flamboyantly dressed man obscured by shadow. But despite this, Dick, you instinctively knew who he was. The man who had bound Tissiac beneath the sands of Iacanthos. The man credited as helping St. Drusus win the war for Calexis. The rogue trader Harlock. And he looked at you. And in that brief moment in this dream, you felt a connection as he peered into your soul and saw everything you are, have been, and everything you will become. Ramsay, meanwhile, dreamed of the space hulk where he'd been raised by the survivors of the Acreage undying, the men and women of the Tulsith 115th Regiment. He dreamed of the man he had seen on Iacanthos, the man who he had almost forgotten, another ratling, like him, named Bigsby. And in this dream, Ramsay witnessed the Xenos vessel, a massive disc with a glowing centre of red, that launched a series of smaller vessels of the Hulk. And he relived the moment when this occurred, the last day he spent on that Hulk. He had forgotten so much of this. And he saw again the creatures of legend, terrible things of writhing metallic worms that assumed humanoid form as they stalked and slaughtered Ramsay's friends. And he saw again the arrival of Varak and his platoon of stormtroopers, led by Gallows and Carlos Medan. And as Medan grabbed you, lifting you and dragging you from the Hulk, Varak's men laying down a barrage of suppressing fire, and a handful of your companions retreated with you. But none of them were assisted as you were. None of them were carried. You do not recall being injured that way, but it seems Medan had singled you out, and across the bay, where the frantic last stand took place, the Maggot men came. Deracles, meanwhile, dreamed of the battle in Upper East Clamor, that he had dreamt of multiple times, killing the massive mutant. Its final uttered words, the mark upon its head, a mark you have seen before but had forgotten. The creature spoke to you in this dream of the spectral sun and the end of days. It became the face of Kassan Ilios, the man who led you to Scintilla to purge the capital world of filth. And then the dream changed and you heard Kassan's voice as he spoke of the horrific outbreak of mutant births on your homeworld front. He blamed the corruption there on the decadence of the ruling elite and called to battle all that would help in his righteous cause, to travel to Scintilla and cut out the rotted heart of the hive, where he insisted this problem stemmed from. You never questioned why or how he knew this. You knew in his heart he was right. The Emperor's holy flamer and chainsaw would purge that city, and you, Deracles, would be a part of its redemption. You dreamed of the battles that took place when you arrived here, purging settlement after settlement of twisted freaks in the low places. And the final battle, when you were overwhelmed. How did it end, Deracles? You awoke in sweat, you can't quite remember. Varak was there, putting mutants to the flame. And his troops too. They were mutants, weren't they, Deracles? You eventually drifted back off to sleep, and the dream began anew, but this time, it was Kassan who spoke to you, not the mutant. Look to the heavens, brother, he said. He pointed and you saw the mark on his hand, the upturned barbed question mark. And you dreamed again of Varak coming to the aid of your brotherhood in Upper East Clamor with Medan, Gallows, and dozens of black-clad stormtroopers. And they turned back the charge of the mutants that had decimated your brothers and sisters. Didn't they, Deracles? That's how it happened. Isn't it, Deracles?
Yeah.
Morning came, and you all met with Lord Stroph's again, presenting the list of names minus Sire's name. You gave it to the Lord and asked him to look into this list. Nero received a new invitation for the Alabaster Court and a note penned by Karos Shoal himself, the father of Joyous Choir. He thanked Mira for the donation. Vlad penned a note to Lady Redstream asking if she could prefer another invite for his man. And Mira wrote to Lord Buldadoon asking if Ishmael could accompany his lordship instead. Buldadown, after all, valued intellect above all else. The Lord replied rather quickly, seeming insulted, and withdrew his invitation from Mira. It's still technically live.
Oops.
You currently have 3 invitations. Mira has her own invitation and a +1, and Vlad has an invitation with Lady Redstreet. You were discussing different ways of acquiring an invitation. However, before we get onto that, with Joyce for you are true, day 6. Still seated around the breakfast table, Lord Strofe stands to leave. Julia is just finishing the last of his recap when a Vox broadcaster over on a corner of the table suddenly bursts into life.
Attention, all residents of Hive Civilus. The following is a mandatory information broadcast on behalf of the Adeptus Administorum.
And the Vox speaker bursts to life. Julia and Lauren immediately snap their heads around to look at this Vox. Good news from the front. Sector Governor Marius Hax is pleased to announce that the end is in sight for the war on Tranche. His lordship reports that he expects the final push against the rebels to take place in the next few weeks, finally putting an end to their uprising. Once the victory celebrations are underway, our brave men and women of the Scintillant regiments can look forward to several months of rest and recuperation as they undergo transportation to the Spinwood front. Closer to home now, mourners preparing to travel to the Von Morton Mortuarium on distant Granathor for burials or recently departed loved ones or visitation rites for currently interred ancestry are required to make an appointment with the Historical Revision Unit. Failure to do so will result in a declaration of non-compliance and may have dire ramifications for you and your family. Make an appointment today. To gunmetal now, General Khalid, the Scintillant Protectorate, has issued a statement to remind citizens that travel to the city of gunmetal is prohibited. The city has been under lockdown now for almost a month after the simultaneous failure of all air traffic control systems, the collapse of numerous overland highways, and deadly toxic gases released into the subterranean transit ways, making entry into the city impossible. Authorities wish to remind residents that these events are entirely unrelated to one another, merely coincidence. Should you hear of people suggesting otherwise, please report them to any member of the literati. In other news, the spokesman for the Estat Imperium has released a statement today regarding the recent rumors regarding a number of wealthy and prominent citizens of Hive Tranche disappearing. Several young socialites were rumored to have vanished overnight recently, but their families have each since announced that they have all gone on a group trip to Quadis, the pleasure world. And you shouldn't be surprised at all if they decide to stay there. The Estat Imperium would like to remind citizens that spreading rumors contradicting official announcements may lead to internment in the Clovis re-education facility. In completely unrelated news, and I have been asked to stress how unrelated this story is to the previous one, despite its similar subject matter, the body of a young socialite was found dead last night during a raid on an Obscura den in mid-Tarsus. The son of Lord Kaladin Ortigas and his wife Octia, legendary star of sanctioned Holovic dramas, was found in the early hours of the morning. The cause of death? Overdose! Let this be a lesson to all those who dabble with such foul street highs. Friends of young Lord Ortigas, better known by his stage name, Quintius Tarquinius Thespis III, said he had been acting out for several months and struggling to come to terms with the untimely death of his mother, Octia. Lord Kaladin Ortigas was unavailable for comment. Citizens are reminded that use of Obscura will not be tolerated, and that should you know someone you suspect may be dabbling with illegal chems, to report them to your nearest Arbeits precinct. Post haste. End of announcements. The Emperor protects. And as it says, the Emperor protects, Julia and Laurent, in perfect unison with one another, say, the Emperor protects. And I would like everyone except Dick and Ishmael to make a willpower test, please.
Would you like to know more?
Vlad, Dericles, you resist. Ramsay and Mira both stand and immediately repeat, "The Emperor protects." Is that music still playing? Yeah. Why? It should have finished.
Finished for me.
Is the music playing? I didn't even realise there was any music.
Yeah, I had some like 1940s newsreel music playing.
Oh no, I didn't get it. That's a shame.
Yeah.
The only thing you playing in Dave is that the music overshadows the lot of the episode.
You can turn the music down though.
I can't figure out how to do that yet.
In the settings menu.
Yeah, my music's turned on, but I didn't hear any of that, which is a bit unfortunate. I don't know why though.
It should have finished a while back, but it's still playing for some people. Okay, so yeah, the two of you, Ramsay and Mira, both stand and say "The Emperor protects," and realise that you kind of did that without consciously willing it. Lord Strofe stands and says, "Great Uncle Larsten is buried in the Von Morton estate. I better go make an appointment, I suppose." Julia looks sad and says, "Poor Mr. Thespis. He was quite talented. His father must be beside himself with grief." The current timestamp is 989.815.841, or commonly, 10 a.m. Wednesday. The invites for the Alabaster Court are 8 p.m. tomorrow, Thursday, and Sunday is the annual Feast of the Emperor's Ascension, which marks not only the event of the Emperor returning to Terra from the Great Crusade, but his ascendancy to godhood 10,000 years ago, and the end of the year. So, you were discussing the potential ways of getting an invite. Mira was talking about maybe contacting Lord Verence, the rather snooty old pervert that you met at Lady Borella's party. And Ramsay and Dick were talking about visiting Lady Cleves, the fiery, elderly but formidable former guard, you're led to believe, that married into the nobility. What would you like to do? Discuss what you want to do for a bit before we make any definite plans?
But didn't we also think that we're gonna get Ramsay? Do we think we're gonna get Ramsay to insert himself into this church rather than get an invite? Is that right?
I think it'd be a lot easier to get invites.
You're all right. Okay.
Yeah, there's. You don't know a lot about the defences of the Alabaster Court or what it's like, but you were told it would be possible to maybe abseil down the side of the hive and come in that way. But obviously, if anything goes wrong, you are about 2 kilometres up in the air. So it's not without risk. To Ramsay, at least.
So we've only got what? What is it? What did you say? 2? Is it only 2 invites so far?
You've currently got one for Vlad, one for Mira, and one other.
Got one other. Okay.
There are also a number of other people who you met at the party who did have invitations.
Okay, and who were they?
Okay, so the ones you know of are Maylene Trun, who was the mid-hive dressmaker, who had basically been invited by Lady Borella for making her dress. You know, she's got an invite to the Alabaster Court. Other people that you know have been Cyprit Danin, Julia's squeeze, Lord Sorkat Outhwaite, the guy from Gunmetal, who invited you to his ranch and also to his facility in the city when Gunmetal reopens. And he seemed to take a shine to Dick, Ramsay, and Ishmael in some respects. He's a bit of a gun nut. And also Lady Borella herself, whose party you attended, you know she has a standing invite.
Okay, so we need 3 more invites then.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like you don't want to do a bit of abseiling then, Ramsay.
It's going to be a lot of talking about and risk. It'd be a lot easier if we can just all figure out some behind the scenes.
I mean, it's definitely going to be easier to legit get into this place than it is to try and break in. But obviously, don't get 6 invites.
Yeah, and not only that, I'm going to be like a lone person against all of the defences and the private army that's going to be. I think we're better off together when the shit.
No, I agree. I agree that we should never, ever split the party.
Never split the party, Alan.
Okay, so before, but we're probably going to have to split the party to get some invites anyway. So we need to get 3 invites.
Me, Dave.
No!
What's up with you?
Yeah.
What's up with Johnny? So I missed that.
I think he just came.
It's because you said you never ever split the party. And then you were like, we may have to split the party. Like straight away.
Well, rules.
I don't know how you dare comment on that, Johnny. You are the king of party split.
You are.
I'm just going to go and have a game of cards.
Who dares win?
Okay, so I mean, I kind of vote not to have anything to do with this Lord Verence ever again.
He's right.
He's too creepy. What's the name of that gunmetal guy? Let's have a look.
Sawcat. Sawcat Alfred.
Let me get my evidence open. So we need to get 3 invites. Anyone got any thoughts of who like to contact? I think this
What about
gunmetal guy seemed quite easy.
A list of people with psychic potential and who we think we might get. Like, is there anyone at the party
on this list? I think we did some work. We did some work on the list already. I seem to think, didn't we? Didn't we do something on the list already? Dave?
So
it's been a while. I can't remember.
Yeah, there's 2 lists. The first list is members of the Ecclesiarchy and Magistratum. Next to each is a strange alphanumeric code. You don't know what that is. The second list was the hidden one that you got unlocked. That is a list of names.
Jelly targets.
Say, viable, not viable, or processed. And Lord Stroph's niece's name was on that. You removed her name and gave the list to him to have a look at.
So he was. Those people are at risk. So if we can find any of those that have got invites, they would kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. It's at least worth a little check.
The 2.
The gunmetal guy would be good for me to get an invite off.
The 2 main problems. Sorry, Hayden, carry on.
I was saying the gunmetal guy would be with getting along at the party, and he said it's not for him, but I could probably pinch an invite off him if we talk to him nicely.
I mean, he seems like one of the easy ones to get an invite off.
I think Lady Cleves as well. To be honest, I think she'll.
You had a good interaction with Lady Cleves, didn't you?
I did, but I think she'd. I don't think she cares a great deal about most of the upper class. I think she'd.
No, certainly not. Certainly not.
I think she'd be sympathetic to our cause.
Yeah. Okay. So people going to work on then Lady Cleves. What's his? I forgot his name already. The gunmetal guy.
Sawcat.
Sawcat Alfwaite.
Did I lose my invite?
You've got an invite. You lost.
You've lost the one from Boulder Down, but you have a direct invite from the Alabaster Court because of your donation that you made.
Oh, okay.
Which is for you +1. You've actually got a +1.
Yeah.
What if we just go in and just rob dudes Boulder's fucking invite? We know he's got one. Let's just go in and say, right, we're Inquisition, we're taking your fucking invite.
So
the Alabaster Court just shoots it up.
The one problem you have with that, James, is you've seen Mira's invitation and it has her name on it.
Yeah, okay.
It says Lady Mira Reigns +1. And also the other problem with your idea about going through the list, it's quite a lot of names and you don't know who, if any, on that list have been invited. And there's no one's name you recognise. So turning up and going, hi, you don't know me, but you might have an invite to the Alabaster Court, and if so, can I come? A little weird?
Pincher, we're not going to shoot up this place.
Yeah, I was wondering if there was anyone from the party.
We're not on our campus anymore. This isn't how we deal with things here in civilized society.
Why not?
Leave your gun in the holster, Pincher.
Can't we?
What was that, Ed?
We can basically get 4 people in at the minute because Derek's got an invite.
Oh, has Derek got one?
No, Derek hasn't got one.
I think we need 3 invites.
Yeah,
Ed.
you need 3 more.
So we've got Cleves, Alfwaite, and we need 1 more target to try and butter up for an invite by the looks of it. There's that lady, what's her name, the dressmaker. She seemed maybe easy to work on because she's just seemed very meek. I don't know, maybe, she's kind of like lower class, I suppose, so she might be swayable, maybe. What's her name?
Or
The
Maylene.
were they checking you when we went to that church as well? So
they were scanning for
I don't know
psychic.
if Dave, if Derek's so you and maybe Pincher. In fact, can we check those 2, see if they're on the list?
Who's that?
If I could get
Are any of us on the
those spot by crazy before we go in, and, like,
Did we,
get an invite. Those spot by crazy so that I thing out as a psyker, then they'll be like, then they'll earmark me for processing or whatever, and that's how I can get in.
But you're not psycho, are you? You're not psycho, so they're not. They'll just.
No, but Johnny might be able to get dude to invite him. The church fellow that we met, he might invite Johnny, and Johnny might be able to say, "Oh, do you want me to bring my friend Vlad and Pincher?"
I've already got an invite, so we need to get invites for the others. That's how we need to do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So say I'm the one who doesn't need.
What do you think about the idea of like?
Well, yeah. Can
what
we?
do you think about the idea of like if I do get an invite?
Say one at once, guys. I can't.
Are any of our names on that list, Dave?
No, this list originates from before the investigation began. This list was found by Volin Orday, the bounty hunter, who you were supposed to be getting the data slate off, that was killed by the Theodosia clone.
Okay, so we need at least 3 invites. So I've got 3 people we can try and work on, unless anyone's got any other ideas as to how else we could get an invite.
Is Derek going to try one of his own?
What I was going to say was,
Take on.
You got Baron some way.
I can't hear Johnny.
Go ahead.
I thought you were so.
You can't hear me.
Going on here, I think people are.
Yeah, I had an idea. I've heard it already as well. It's like if I can get an invite as well, if I can get some Farcosia, then when we're going through and they're scanning, no, listen, hear me out. I take the Farcosia before I go in, and then because it makes you essentially a psyker, that'll make their scanner go ping. Means they'll go, oh right, let's invite him back, psyker. But then the next time they invite me back for processing, I can break out the fucking big chainsaw and start killing them all.
All right, so just suppose for a moment you can get some Farcosia and get invited back because they detect you as a psyker. How are you going to get in the first place?
I think he's maybe trying to go to the smaller church, get scanned there.
All right.
It seems, I don't know, it maybe seems a bit maybe a bit convoluted compared to just trying to butt someone up. Some of the contacts we've already made and get invites off them. I don't know.
Yeah, but then won't they be under their name?
Might be.
Well, let's say
Maybe
these 3 people
contacting the Inquisition, or maybe that dude who just unlocks that stuff for us. Maybe we could pay him to forge some more tickets.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, that's maybe worth a thought.
That's
with something like that. I mean, that's a great idea, but that is, they might have a guest, and they'll be like, "Well, you're not on the list."
It's also short notice as well, so
yeah.
I think that the easiest way is to go to the contacts we've already made, who we know get invites, see if we can get along with them, persuade them to go as a +1. That seems to me maybe the best route.
On the note, actually, that you've just suggested about trying to forge an invite. You've seen an invite now. Mira has one. It's not a technological device. It's literally a piece of ivory with the invitation inscribed into it. It's
I'm
not
a
a
copy.
technological device.
Exactly. Haven't we got something, lad? Didn't we buy something to?
We did,
something?
we did, but I don't think we've got it with us. We definitely did do that.
That's for copying documents anyway. This
Mhm.
is literally like a piece of engraved ivory, so it wouldn't be a copyist.
Scrimshaw,
It's something like Scrimshaw, yeah.
I'm all out of ivory myself. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
Don't think I have
You
any.
are my pal.
Pretty sure.
We'll just
And
get someone-
Slayer elephant.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Let's go find a planet with orcs on it.
Space elephant.
Because I don't know, their teeth are pretty much like ours. Come back. Make a. Okay.
maybe some mammoth out in the waste, maybe.
That's a great idea. I wanted that idea.
There is a mutant cold mammoth out in the wastes.
Oh, dear.
Yes, I think we need to get
Guess,
out.
guess what his mutation is?
So what's that?
We could
Massive
just
front.
stragglers off the back of the
2 meters
queue
front.
down past the car and steal their invite. You know, we're not queuing up, take 3 off the back, insert us 3 in. Badoom. You know, I'm thinking of this, but we could just queue up and get them. Ultra silent shots.
Leave the thinking to me, Pincher. No, we're not going to go violent. We're not going to kidnap anyone. We're not going to try and like steal or attack.
They're not stealing when they're dead.
Well, I think we need a more subtle approach.
Yeah.
I could pickpocket them and put grenades in the pocket.
Well, it's definitely one. I mean, it's definitely one. You're suggesting a full-on attack on the church.
No.
Oh.
Pickpocket tickets, some.
Pickpocket some tickets.
Yeah.
We don't know. I mean, we don't know.
I'll loiter around.
I just my feeling is that to get proper invites is the best way to approach this.
Who's the best people?
What are we doing when we get there as well? You know, what are we expecting there?
Your
See if you can find any. Oh, go on. Sorry.
Your objective is to find the source of the harmony meters. That was your original objective. And if possible, find what happened to Lord Strauss's niece, which you kind of have got a good idea something bad has happened now.
Johnny's eaten her. That's what's happened.
Yes.
Delicious.
Right.
Well,
She's been turned into jelly, and she's been.
the thing is, it's like, right. So the psychers, right? Psychers, they're basically when the black ships come, these psychers, right? Rather than Imperium getting its tithe of psychers for the Emperor's breakfast, you know, they've been turned into jelly, and they're being like, consumed by the nobility. So essentially, they're committing treason and heresy at the same time. You know,
Who is?
So
Everyone.
I think we've got enough evidence to go in there, break into the Alabaster Court, and basically kill everybody, wipe out the corruption, and then just be done with it all.
What
Kill
evidence have you
everyone.
got, Johnny?
Because they've done more than enough to warrant.
No, Derek. No, you're
We have
too
the
bloodthirsty,
state
Derek. You're too
So we have the
bloodthirsty.
list of names.
You'll never join.
We
the
have
Inquisition. You'll never be an Inquisitor.
We have the substance, which is basically is humanoid.
Oh, we lost him. He's got so fervent that he's disconnected.
Frozen in mid-speech.
No killing, no chainsaws, and no grenade pincher. We're going to do this subtly.
Can I make a vox call to
Get
sort it out?
and then
Yes.
Sausage.
Yes, of course.
Can I just get this ball rolling? I'm going to make a vox call to sort it out. Wait.
Absolutely, no problem.
just
Okay,
a
so who
thought.
wants to work on Cleves? Is that probably Ramsey's? Is Ramsey best place?
Yeah, I'll go do that.
Okay. And then, I'll have a go on Malene Trout, or sorry, Trunt, or whatever her name is, if you
Trout.
want. Marlene Tramp.
That's right.
Yeah. So let's split the party 3 ways and see if we can get some more invites. Unless anyone else wants to try anyone else.
What am I
I
doing?
mean, there is. Well, we
I
don't
can
know.
only
Really.
try Verence, really, can't I?
You could do. You could have a
leaving him
go.
alone.
He'd probably do whatever you ask because he's a pervert. But if you want to go down that road, it's just I personally would like to fuck him off. But
Do any of us have ID, Dave, with Inquisition, or have we kind of left that so it doesn't get found?
Vlad does have a document bearing the name of Inquisitor Varek that basically gives him authority when produced. But it's only Vlad that has that.
Right.
Yeah, I think we need to keep undercover for as long as possible and use that as a last resort.
Yeah, you were told to try and maintain your cover as long as possible.
Alan, you should never have said that. Someone is now going to blow it. You've not mentioned it.
So there's no way it's going to be subtle, and we're going to keep our cover. But you can hope, can't we? We can hope. We can hope that we can be like an efficient, organised inquisitorial unit.
Can I make a box called Soccer?
Sometimes hope is all we have.
Do it. Get cracking.
So let me just
grenades.
Let me just clarify what's happening. Dick's going to vox Lord Sorka Althwaite.
Yep.
Ramsey, are you going to visit Lady Cleves?
Yeah. Well, how far away is she? What's the best?
She's in this spire, so it's not far.
Ask for the direct route, though.
Would it be easier to fly there with one of the Lord's vehicles? Or
Yeah, it would be much quicker to take one of Lord Stroth's shuttles and just spiral up the hive a bit to Lady Cleves.
Nice one.
Johnny's still
Okay.
there. I don't see him. I'm
Vlad.
I'm still here, yeah.
Yeah. Like for
Hear me,
whatever reason,
alright?
you blank on my screen. But when I had to rejoin the call to see you, I don't know it does it. I don't know why it does it, but it's not the first time that's happened. So I can see you loud and see you now, Johnny. So I can hear you loud and clear.
I have a. Excellent. Is it this the day after yesterday? It's in the game. It's a new day, isn't it? Game.
New day.
Right.
It's a new day.
Right. So yesterday I asked Julie. A new day.
Get you some
So yesterday I asked
Farcosia,
Julie if she'd be able to get involved with some Farcosia. Right. No, I know I'm a bit obsessed about it. Right. If I can go down to the church for one of their meetings, use some of this Farcosia in order to register as positive, I believe that I'll be able to get an invite to the Alabaster Court that way.
I don't know, mate. I don't know.
Silent. It was my idea that good.
Do it.
So then we're silent.
Do it.
I don't know if it'll work. I just don't know if it'll
Wow.
work. I don't know if it'll make you appear to be a psychic or not.
Yeah, I want to do that. I want to try it.
Right.
First of all, we don't have any Farcosia. Oh, we do have some Farcosia, don't we? Mira still has some.
Yep.
I believe it will.
So I don't know. I mean,
Mira?
Hmm?
Farcosia.
That's a good idea.
You do have one dose left.
So what do we know? Like when they've taken Farcosia, what do I
We
detect?
do need that though as evidence as well, don't we?
You what? Sorry.
So we need that as evidence. Now we've actually got evidence of the drug that they're making, and we've got an example of it. I think we should keep our hands on that, to be honest.
Julia
I
scored.
only want a little bit.
Farcosia.
I only want a little bit.
Julia,
Just want your fix.
Julia did score you some Farcosia before she got you 2 shots. And Dericles did ask
the
for
Emperor
some
would say
more.
yes. Were he here? Were he not so busy? He would say yes. Sure of it. I'm going to start mumbling a little bit.
He would say no. No, Dericles.
I'm going to mop a bit of sweat off my brow with 4 o'clock.
Oh dear.
Very, very hot. And then I'm just going to sort of shuffle out.
All right, so Dick's
It's a good
voxing
idea.
Sorkat.
It was a good idea.
Ramsey's visiting Cleves.
Help
Vlad's
me.
visiting Maylene
It's a
Trump.
jelly talking. It's a jelly talking, Derek. It's a jelly talking. It's not a good plan.
Great plan. Julie plan.
When you look
Julie planned the dice.
Oh, dearie me. Right. So,
The jelly. No,
Any way to get your fix, Dericles.
anyway, that's how it rolls. That's how it goes. Got a hold on me. Got a hold.
I can see that.
you know, what do we know? Do we know anything about this Maylene Tront lady?
You know she lives in the Mid-Hive. You know she's a very meek, quiet woman, and that she makes dresses for a living. She was invited to Lady Barella's party as a thank you for making the dress that Lady Barella wore that night. You also know Maylene Trun is a member of Councillor Court Abrogue's church, which is the church you all visited where Mira made the donation.
Right. Okay. So maybe we can try and get her to get Derek an invite then. So I'm thinking maybe me and Derek go and visit her, down Hive if we can.
Okay.
And because she's because she's a religious woman, so maybe we can say that Derek admired her from afar or something. I don't know. But I reckon. Hey, sorry. It's a murder spirit.
Admired her spirit.
I think maybe we can get you as her +1, Derek, is what I'm thinking.
Thanks.
What do you reckon? And no jelly, not until tomorrow. I've asked for some jelly. I asked for some jelly for you.
You did. That
Derek.
was it. You asked for some, yeah.
No, but we also asked what's her name?
Julia.
Julia. We also asked Julia as well, and she said she could get some. So I think we've got two.
Lady Cleves was going to try and get you some, wasn't she?
Redstream, I think.
Sorry,
Redstream.
yeah,
Yeah.
Redstream.
Yeah, she said she could get some, but not until the day of the.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Did Cleves eat any of the jelly?
Not that you know of.
Seems
You weren't with everyone all the time.
righteous.
Yeah.
She's too righteous for jelly.
So I know what everyone's doing except Mira and Ishmael.
Never too righteous, jelly.
Don't worry, Derek. We'll get you that jelly soon. I promise. I don't know why. The thing is, I've got no good reason for trying to get you the jelly. It was just I thought it'd be a laugh, and I was drunk at the time.
Lost the plot. What is how? So I've got an invite already, and I can take someone.
Yeah.
So that's 2 invites.
Yes.
Anyone else got one?
Vlad's got one. Vlad's going as Lady Redstream's +1.
But he's going to try and get Dericles.
He's going to try and get Dericles one, yeah.
What about the other 2?
So Dick's going to vox Sorkat. Ramsey's going to visit Cleves. At this rate, you would still be missing 1 invite for Ishmael.
I mean, I can take someone with me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think, maybe
see if everyone manages to secure a invite. If not, I can try Verence.
Verence, yeah. I think that's your best bet of getting another invite if you it's Verence, but then again he's just a creep, so if we don't have to talk to him, maybe just
everyone see if they can get an invite. If not, I'll try him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then you'll just be his +1, won't you?
You what? Sorry.
So, but then you'll be his +1 rather than one of us.
Yeah.
being
That way.
He'll probably ask for a favour that you don't want to give him. So.
Yeah.
So
you will try.
Any point because it'll just
like
be. We're not going to get his invitation to use with someone else. Who's going to be Mira's going to be +1, and then we're left with Mira's invitation. And
I mean, there is always a way of persuading someone to do something. Like, if you get creative about it, you don't have to say, I want to come as your +1. There might be a way of persuading someone to take someone else as a +1. You just have to think of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm sure quite a few people will be open to financial bribery.
Yeah.
I don't think Verence isn't one of them. I think, I think the payment for Verence is a payment we don't want to make. So
Verence is a very, very powerful man. He's a senior sector lord. So, in other words, you've got the Calexis sector. I'm going to show you a map. You would know this. This is the map of the Calexis sector. So everything on this map, every dot, every planet, is in this sector. Lord Marius Hax is the sector lord. And if you look in the middle, you've got Scintilla. And sort of southeast of that, you've got an area called Adrantis. That's the Adrantis Nebula. That is what Verence is in charge of. That's how powerful this man is.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Go on, Mira. Take one for the team.
Oddly enough, Mira, the piety of Seth is in the Adrantis Nebula, which is where you were born.
Yeah.
But of course, that's Mira.
Mm.
Mira Reigns wasn't born on the piety of Seth. Mira Reigns was born on Fenix World.
Oh.
Been in different games. Thanks.
Okay, so this.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So you're not doing anything until you know if everyone else.
Not yet, yeah.
All right.
I will
And
hold
Ishmael, do you have any plans? Are you going with anyone?
I can take Ishmael if
you go with them. I don't know. There's no one's going to be in any danger, I don't think.
I don't know.
What could possibly go wrong?
That's like a red flag to Dave. I don't know why.
Bloodletters everywhere.
If we're going to go in pairs, then I'll go with Ramsey because he's a really good shot. So.
Okay, so you're off with Ramsey to see Cleves, are you?
Yeah.
So we're going to split the party into 3. Very good.
So while all these lot are going off, what are you actually doing? Are you going with someone? Are you staying at the mansion?
My dear Miro, please would you keep an eye on Pincher? I'd feel a lot better if someone was with him. I don't want him getting into any trouble. He's got an itchy trigger finger.
all right, I could go with Pincher.
Please
Yeah.
keep an eye on him. I'd feel so much happier knowing that you're there.
Sure. We'll just end up in trouble, though. You do realise.
No, I'm sure.
So I'll look out. I will keep him on the straight and narrow.
Well, there's two things that might help you with this. The first of which is Dick has actually said he's going to vox Sorka Outhwaite. And the second of all is
trouble in the mansion, though. So,
well, yeah. I mean, Dick did before, didn't he? So he shot one of Lord's men in the knee.
He's already shot one of
Is someone a bloodletter though?
Well, no one can prove that was me. So,
yeah. Yeah. Anyway, right. Okay. So
maybe nobody should stay in the mansion because it's just like a bad omen.
This mansion's pretty good omen compared to the other one that this is based on, but which did have a bloodletter in it, incidentally.
So we're gonna split into 3 pairs then. And,
okay.
We'll do it that way. I think
that's fine. This isn't all unwieldy. As you're about to leave, there is a knock at the door. Lord Strophs and Julia at this point have gone. Actually, before we do this, Mira, do you want to treat your 2 addicts today?
Yeah, better do. Yeah.
You better.
Okay.
Thanks, Mira.
Yeah.
Okay,
I would like you to make a fucking Medicaid test at what day is this? Plus 10 for Dick and then Dericles. So 1 for each.
Oh. Oh, fucking hell. This is cursed.
All right.
Mm-hmm. What's Battle.net doing?
So that was for Dericles. And
that was Dick, that first one.
Nice try.
Fail on both.
Sorry, guys.
Would you like to use a fate point on any of them?
Scrupulous.
Don't worry about it.
No remorse.
No. Okay, fail for both of you. You are -10 on stats.
Ah, shit.
You got to keep your eye on him.
Hang on, what's everyone doing again? Where's Derek going?
Dericles is going with Vlad.
Straight down to the lab for our sample.
And Dick's voxing Socket Outhwaite to try and get an invite.
Maybe I could try again for Dick.
Okay. So you're going to use a fate point.
Derek, he's not going to get an invite. He's just going along.
He's trying to go to get an invite, but he's going with Vlad.
All right. Yeah. I'll make another for Dericles. Dick.
It's probably a good idea to do it for Dick because Dick has good fellowships. You want to maximise his
come on,
skills.
roll 20, you bastard. You can roll 20. Hey.
That's the key to success is to swear at roll 20.
Damn
Okay,
AI.
pass with 5 degrees of success. Dick, you are not at -10 all stats. You feel good today, Dick. You feel all right. Dericles, the shakes are starting to set in a little.
Hurry there, Dericles.
Okay, and as you finish treating your companions and you all begin to head off on your separate ways, there's a knock at the door, which promptly opens, and there's Lord Stroph's manservant, Jives, strides into the room carrying a small wooden box. And he turns to you, Vlad, and says, "Excuse the intrusion, Lord Rains. A package has just arrived for you."
Very good. Please place it on the table, Jives.
And he hands you this small wooden box about yay big.
Okay, I'll have a look. What have we got?
Inside the box is a melter bomb. No, inside the box are 2 rings, very similar to each other. One is identical to your fake wedding ring. The other is identical to Mira's fake wedding ring. There's also a small hollow wafer, the kind that Ishmael can insert into his cranial interface. There's a small silver ring of suffrage, identical to the one that Dericles wears. There's a pendant on a thin chain that looks like a hexalid claw, identical to what Pincher wears around his neck. And there is a tie clip, just like the one Ramsey has for his new suit. And amongst all these items is a small note, which simply reads, "Just in case, M."
Okay, I'm going to flush all these down the toilet. No. Okay, so I'm gonna hand these out as appropriate. I'm going to obviously me and Mira the wedding rings, the wafer to Ishmael, the ring of suffrage to Derek, hexley claw to Dick. Sorry, whose is the pendant? Do you say it's?
It's a pendant with hexalid claw on it, like what Dick
okay, yeah, and then a tie clip to Ramsey. So I guess this is something to get us out of the shit when this inevitably goes sour.
So
inevitably.
This is
I would like everyone except Ishmael to make a perception check at +10. Ishmael, you don't need to because you know what this is. You know you can plug this into your cranial circuitry.
Go on, stick it in the noggin then, Ishmael.
Do I know what it does? Is it just like a?
It's just like it's like an SD card. It's
Didn't know anything tech based.
Extra memory.
This is our insurance, I believe.
Use M.
The ring.
Well, it could be Medan.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
all right. So everyone except Vlad hasn't made one.
Oh, what am I? Oh, a perception test. Sorry.
Yes, please.
Just straight perception, yeah?
Yep.
10. +10.
Okay.
So,
yeah,
you just think, why have I got another fake wedding ring?
I was going to swap. I was going to swap the ring. I think that was my plan.
But Mira and Dericles, you both spot on these rings that you've given. They're identical to the ones you already wear. But there's a very small groove in one side of the ring, something that could be activated by, say, a thumbnail. Pincher, you noticed on the tip of this hexalid claw, and it feels the same and it looks the same, but you know it's not a real hexalid claw, but it would pass inspection by someone who wouldn't know. But you can feel a small groove in the tip of the claw on this pendant. And Ramsey, you also noticed there's a small switch in the back of the tie clip.
This is our panic button, I think.
Yeah.
Ishmael, are you slotting the memory chip?
Yeah, why not? Let's give it a whirl, see what happens.
Okay. You slot it in. It automatically
activates
syncs with your system, and you instinctively know what it is. You have you have Elec-2 emitters on your body, your palms of your hands and your face. You can use them to show symbols, like the symbol of the Mechanicus. You realize that a new image has been uploaded into your memory banks that you can now make emerge from your hands and face at will.
Do I know what the image is, or do I have to do it?
You'd have to turn it on.
Shall I turn it on?
Inquisition glowy.
What do you think it is, Ishmael?
It's basically like shows an image, doesn't it? But I don't know what the image is without actually turning it on.
It's probably a little message. It's probably a little message to tell you what these are all about, perhaps.
Okay, I'll turn it on then.
The 8-pointed star. As soon as you engage it, you get to choose where this appears, either on your face or the palms of your hand. And it is the stylized eye of the Inquisition with the symbol of the Ordo Hereticus. And it projects as a hologram from the palm of your hand.
I guess that's our...
You can now reveal yourselves officially as agents of the Inquisition should you need to. All right.
Okay. I'll say to everyone, I'll just say, use these as a last resort. That means you, Pincher, and you, Derek.
I wouldn't dream of using my power.
Your baby.
And not just to get jelly.
Give me the jelly.
The jelly's on its way, Derek. Jelly's on its way, I promise.
Part of the mission. Needed mission. So bad.
Okay, so once again, Ramsey and Ishmael bundle into one of Lord Stroth's shuttles and head off, spiraling up the spire towards the location that you know. It's easy to find out from Lord Sorkat's directory where Lady Cleves lives. So you head off up there. Vlad and Derek are heading down Hive.
Has she got a dress shop, do you know?
Yeah, a dress shop in...
okay, that makes it easy.
I've forgotten the name of the district, but it's where the temple was that you visited,
Sure.
where Councillor Corterbrogue lives.
Okay.
And Mira and Dick are hanging out the mansion. So, Mr. Pincher...
Stay out of trouble, Pincher!
Mr. Pincher, you attempt to vox... Sorkat Alfmate. Can I have a tech use test at plus 30 from you, please, Dick?
So we halfway. Where's bloody tech use? Got it.
You haven't got it?
No, it's not on my list anywhere.
Make a intelligence test, half your intelligence. So add 30 to your intelligence, and we'll half your original intelligence. Take it from there.
That's good.
Yeah. So yeah, you've spent a bit of time on this world now. You're starting to get the hang of basic tasks like making a telephone call, and you successfully call the number you find listed for Sorkat Althwaite. And a man answers and says, "Good morning, Borella residence. How may I direct your call?"
I'm looking for Sorkat Althwaite, please.
Sorkel Walthwy? Yes. May I ask who's calling, please?
It is me, myself, Big Dick, Pincher.
Big Dick Pincher. Very good, sir. One moment, please. And you're put on hold. Well, Dick's on the Vox. What are you doing, Mira?
Could work on the
That'll be a crank call.
remedies.
On the antidote.
Yeah, antidote. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. If you want to, yeah, we'll give you an hour on the antidote.
Yeah.
Give me a. Ooh, that's a good question. It's been a while.
Why?
I don't know where that came from.
Thanks for that.
Mirror making drugs. Here we go. Give me a trade apothecary roll at -20, please. Oh.
-20.
Yeah.
Oh. Didn't work well.
This is a progress roll, though, so nothing is an utter failure. This is about long-term progress.
Yeah.
I mean, you can re-roll it if you want.
Dice. Maybe I should just get my dice out.
You can re-roll if you want. You can use your last fate point if you want. But like I say, this doesn't mean you've ruined this. This is just
I'll not
progress.
use my last fate point on this, no.
Yes, you do make a little progress.
Yeah.
With your little portable alchemy kit that you've got, and Lord Stroph's has got some equipment you can use as well. You still think it's going to take a bit more time. You also know that there's a specific. You've identified a few illegal chemicals in the Farcosia. You have to isolate them all to be able to develop an antidote. You do know there's human DNA in this, and you also think that no matter what your progress is here, sooner or later you're going to need a proper lab to discover exactly what part of human DNA is in this serum. Okay. So you can still progress this here, but you are going to need a proper lab for that final piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Okay. After about 10 minutes, Dick, of standing on hold with some rather pleasant Imperial hymns playing down the Vox, a voice comes back on and goes, Well, now, Big Dick Pincher. Well, this is an unexpected pleasure, my friend. How can I help you?
Just wondering, you said you got invited to that court.
The Alabaster Court? Yeah,
man, and you said you felt something fishy about it. Well, me too. One of our friends has gone missing, and I wouldn't mind investigating and seeing what it's all about. It seems as you have an invitation, man. I thought you had a good shine into one of my Carnodons, didn't you? I'd be willing to pass you that for an invitation to the Alabaster Court as a present of good faith to you.
All right.
Straight to the point. Good trade.
Yeah.
Pincher's behaving. He's like a changed man.
He is. More importantly, Hayden's really good at remembering things all of a sudden. That's the wrong.
You read
That's
the
the wrong page.
he did the research.
He's done the reading. That's what an addict's like. So, Dick, I would like you to make a charm test or any skill you think might be applicable, and you will get a. Where is Sorcat? You would ordinarily get a +25, but the offer of the Carnodon is very tempting, so you get a +30.
Cool. All right. Good. And I will re-roll this if it goes wrong. No, it didn't.
Excellent.
It didn't.
Okay. Lord Owlswaite says to you, well, I surely was not expecting such a fine and tempting offer at both intrigue and reward for my participation in such. Well, like I told you before, Mr. Pincher, I steer clear of the Alabaster Court, but if someone you care for is missing and there's promise of a shiny Carnodon in it for me, I would be happy to pick you up tomorrow evening. Let's say 7:30.
Hey.
Yeah, thank you, man. That would be much appreciated. And I tell you what, I will keep you posted of everything I found out, so you can be fully aware of this stuff too.
Well, this sounds most interesting, and it certainly is a interesting diversion for me at this most difficult time.
Okay, I will see you and talk to you tomorrow. Thank you so much for your time, man.
I look forward to it, Mr. Pincher.
Thank you.
Right. That's one down. Well done.
That was the easiest one by far because Dick impressed him with his firearms, basically. Dick showed him his barrel and he just lapped that shot.
It's a shiny big gun and he couldn't resist it, could he?
Yeah.
Right, I'll see you all next session.
All right, so that only took maybe 15, 20 minutes in total. So what do you want to do for the rest of this hour? Because Mira's already done her antidote rolling.
Oh, I don't know. Practice is reading, and that's
Okay.
Mira to spell things out for him while as watching Mira do her alchemy.
All right. What, you're asking her to what, sorry?
Just spell things out as it's going along. Just
All right.
learn his reading.
Are you willing to assist Dick in his reading?
While you're doing what you work.
So it's basically a case of Dick sits there going, the blue cat has a blue bowl, and you go, ball, and then carry on with your work.
All right, yeah.
All right.
A is for alpha, B is for beta.
I did actually start writing an entire Dick Learns How to Read book, but I've taken it over into the... I thought it was too much fun. I've taken it over into Alan's game, and I've been using it in the Quintius Teaches Arnie to Read thing. Where I was like, A is for Astarte. B is for bolt gun. Right. So that's going to be about the next hour or so. At the end of that hour, so that's going to be getting on for... Did you Vlad, did you actually send a message to Lady Redstream or not?
Well, she's got a shop. I was going to turn up to a shop.
No, Lady Redstream.
Oh, Redstream. Did I send a message to what? To do what?
You were originally talking about going to see if she could get another invite, but I don't think you did.
Yeah, I think I did, and I think she got pissy because I think I failed my test, and she got pissy. I tried to get Dick to come along with us, and she was like, she got pissy with me. And then I think I was saying, oh, let's try and get Dick just wing his way in instead, and that's I think that's the kind of approach we took. So.
Yeah, I remember. Okay, so. Ramsey and Ishmael are going to be arriving about 11 a.m., which is roughly the same time as Dick and Mira finish doing what they're doing. So Dick and Mira will deal with you first because it'll be quickest. Is there anything that you want to do for the next hour or so?
What us two?
Yep.
I'm still going to carry on practicing my reading.
Yeah.
He needs to do that.
I'll help him. May as well.
Are you full on helping him, or are you carrying on with your alchemy?
I'm just going to sweep.
3 little words.
I'll help him.
All right.
As I hear this, and I want Cleese's pace down, and he hears this going on, like, it's a waste of time, Mary. It's a waste of time.
You don't hear it going on. You don't hear it going on. You've gone.
Oh no!
Okay, so you're helping Dick.
May as well.
He's rattling.
All right.
If only he'd got that nice dose for something to relieve the stress of withdrawal.
Yeah.
Haven't been taken from him.
Bizarrely, Vlad, you're a bit freaked out right now as you're like walking down to the mid-hive with Heracles, and he just starts going, "It's a waste of time, Mira. It's a waste of time." Like, Heracles, Mira isn't here.
I'm going to think Derek on the shoulder. I'll just go, "The jelly's coming, Derek."
Heracles suddenly his connections that he had to everyone else at some point seem to have briefly lashed out through the metaverse and connected with some chickens. But yeah. All right, so Ramsey and Ishmael. I don't know what I've just written, but it doesn't say Ishmael.
Momentary psychic.
You arrive.
I'm just going to quickly say to Derek, I'm going to say, "You're right. It is a waste of time."
Burn myself.
Where is my notes? There we go. The Cleves estate stands on a narrow plateau plateau jutting from the
I look,
edge.
I'm just going to turn to Vlad and say, I look forward to the time. I might change.
So I didn't catch that, Johnny. I was...
Just heard a load of echoes.
Cleves Estate
Is that
stands
good?
on a narrow plateau, jutting from the edge of the Tranquillo
I said-
spire.
I was just going to say,
The worst going on.
What's happening?
It's got a 5-minute lag.
Somebody's lagging. I think it's Johnny.
there's lag. I think it's me.
Yeah, I do. What were you going to say, Johnny?
Yeah, it is.
Johnny, what are you going to say, buddy?
Give it 5
I was
minutes.
going to send to Vlad word of comfort about the podcast, and I've completely forgotten. So
That's 5 minutes. None of us are getting back.
Don't worry, Derek. It's just a jelly. It's affecting your memory sensors.
It's
Like
affecting
normal.
Dericles so bad. He's lagging physically. He's like responding to everything 5 minutes ago. Like Vlad and Dericles are walking down the street. Some bizarre mutant walks past, and 5 minutes later, Dericles' chainsaw's out, and he's like, "Mutant!" Oh, it's gone.
It's like us in Amsterdam.
Yeah. Yeah, just like me and you in Amsterdam.
That was a time.
Okay, right. So, the Cleves Estate, Ramsey and Ishmael, stands on a narrow plateau jutting from the edge of the Tranquillo spire, an hour or so from where Lord Strauss lives, by air. North of it, as you approach, you see the slender purple tower of black stone. The tallest point in Hive Sibyllus stands ominously in the background. Bastion Porphyr, the home of Scintilla's astropathic choir. House Cleves itself stands under an armour-glass dome, sealed off from the outside world, along with a handful of other noble estates. And Ramsey, you ease your shuttle into a holding pattern over the next few minutes while you exchange clearance codes. And after about 20 minutes or so, you descend to a small landing pad just outside the dome. And eventually disembark and pass through a checkpoint manned by Scintillan Protectorate soldiers in full dress uniform. These are basically Scintilla's PDF. And it's about a 10-minute walk. You're not challenged at any point. And you eventually reach the gardens that border House Cleves. And above you, a serene artificial sky shines down on you from the dome that protects this very well-to-do region. It's clear blue with a small smattering of scudded clouds on the northern horizon, and it flickers and loops a number of times as you approach. As you approach the door, a woman in her 40s, with an austere, judgmental face, dressed in the livery of House Cleves that you saw on Lady Cleves' handmaidens before, opens the door and stands and watches you both as you approach. And she looks down your nose at you and says,
down your nose.
"Mr. Ramsey and Mr. Praetor, I believe."
You're muted, Brownie. Brownie, you're muted, buddy. Awfully quiet, this pair, aren't they?
Yes.
Just stand there in silence.
Just stand there looking gobsmacked.
What time of day is it, Dave?
It's around midday, but you are in this artificial dome where it could be any time of day, but you do know it's about midday.
Good day, my lady. May I speak with Lady Cleves? It's a matter of some urgency.
Of course, come. You are expected. And she turns and leads you back inside this house. You haven't announced yourselves. You haven't forewarned her that you're coming.
Yeah, I get that.
And this woman strides inside and says, Lady Cleves awaits you in the gymnasium. And she leads you through the grand main entrance, along silver-veined, black marble tiled floors lined with statuary and busts of what you assume must be the Cleves bloodline. And she reaches a set of large double doors after a good few minutes' walk and pushes them open, gestures for you to enter.
I'll head on in.
Following.
Okay. As you both step inside, you hear grunts of exertion and the clash on steel from within. You walk across to a balcony and you peer down into what looks like a blood square, like what you saw the duel fought between Lady Cleves and Lord Verence's man back at Lady Barella's party. And you know from your lessons that this is like a very traditional Scintillan thing. This is how nobles of Hive Sibilus settle disagreements and arguments in the blood square. Lady Cleves stands in the centre of the gymnasium, wearing a simple but somehow still elegant dress, far more practical than the one you saw her wearing last time at the party. Her left arm, you see now, is entirely augmetic, and you suspect from your previous meeting with her that she had an augmetic arm because you heard it whirring, but now you can see quite clearly what it is. And Ishmael, I would like you to make some sort of test relating to cybernetic stuff. What have you got? I can't remember. A trade armorer roll, please. Yeah. You've done quite a lot of research into cybernetics.
It's a straight test, yeah? No modifiers?
Yeah, please. Straight test with no modifiers. Okay, and you see this arm and you immediately recognize it as high quality, but not high quality in the sense that a noble would have it as a replacement arm. More high quality as in someone of very high military bearing would have this. It's designed for combat. Sorry?
Similar to mine.
Very similar to yours, yeah. Maybe a little bit more high grade than yours. It's designed for combat.
I doubt it.
Enhanced strength is what you get the impression comes from this arm. Okay. She wields a shock-charged training sword in this arm, and she fends off not one, but two attackers. No mean feat for any swordswoman, and made all the more impressive by the fact that you have heard this woman fight. You've heard her laboured breaths and the rasps of her damaged lungs. But far more impressive than her age or her failing health is the fact that she appears to be beating these two women that she fights with, both of which are half her age. And she's also doing this whilst wearing a veil obscuring her vision. And Ramsey, you recognise the two women she spars with. Ishmael does as well, but Ramsey particularly. Felice and Melissa, the ladies in waiting that you and Dick chatted up and danced with at the party. They too appear very skilled with blades, but their youth, vigour, and obvious ability is nothing compared to Lady Cleves, as she easily beats them. And you realise that when she fought Lord Verence's man, she was possibly holding back. The fight goes on for another 30, 40 seconds. I'm just going to give you a little picture here. Lady Cleves. And as she's fighting these two women, she says, Mr. Ramsey, Mr. Wallace. Sorry.
Good evening, my lady.
Yeah, and she also nods her head briefly to Ishmael and says, Brother Praetor, welcome.
I'll nod my head back.
Lady Cleves suddenly ends the fight, spinning around, sweeping the leg of Melissa, dropping her to the floor, clouting Felice around the head with the same maneuver with her free hand, sending the woman tumbling back. Cleves flourishes the tip of her blade, and it comes to rest against the prone form of Melissa's neck. She says, Better, but Melissa, your weight balance is still off, and Felice, your grip is too rigid. It slows the response with your blade. She lowers the blade, and you recognize the drop of accent for a moment. She offers a hand to Melissa, who takes it. Lady Cleves hoists the woman to her feet, and Melissa says, "Thank you, my lady, for the lesson." "You are more than welcome, Melissa." Cleves glances towards you. "That will be all, Shanna." And you realize she's looking behind you at the woman who led you here. And the footwoman leaves and closes the door behind you. "Well," says Lady Cleves as she removes her veil, "this is a delight. An abhuman and a man of the Brotherhood of Mars visiting Wendy Cleves together. Tongues will wag." Make a perception check, both of you, please, at +10.
Oh, +10, yeah.
Yep. You notice, both of you notice, the grins of Melissa and Felice as she says this about tongues wagging. You got the impression, Ramsey, when you met Lady Cleves before, that she kind of likes tormenting the other members of the nobility. She says, "So, gentlemen, what do I owe the pleasure?" She holds out her blade. Felice takes it, carries it to a nearby rack. Melissa never takes her eyes off either of you. Lady Cleves strides forwards, draws a hand fan from under the folds of her skirt, begins fanning her face. You hear a laboured breath as she draws close, and you can't help but notice that from her belt hangs a hand, a human hand, bearing a ring with Lord Verence's signet marking upon it. I'm just going to have a quick piss.
Can we remember what's how she's opposed to the Alabaster Court at all?
I think she'll be interested in helping us if it causes a little controversy and sticks it to the nobility.
Definitely.
Which I think it will, because there's a bit of a conspiracy going on. Just come to our attention. Of course, we just don't know how to explain why it's come to our attention.
Yeah. Trying to think how we're going to ask what's the best to be, so we want to get in and giggles.
Well, if you can frame it in some way in which you'll piss off Lord Verence, I think that would definitely. I think that seems.
Yeah.
That seems.
Well, I think
they'll
just drop the juicy dangler in there that a lot of the nobility is involved.
Okay. So, Ramsey.
I'm going to eye her belt and say, "A trophy from your last duel, my lady."
Yes, little affectation from my time served on Tranche, where we would take such trophies. It's hard to get the guards woman out of the woman, so to speak.
You fought well, my lady. Trophy well deserved.
Why, thank you. I had hoped, of course, it would be Lord Verence himself in the ring. Of course, then I wouldn't have possibly been allowed to kill him. Imagine the ramifications.
Well, I think a soldier knows that no nobility would put his neck on the line in such a situation.
Indeed.
So,
what can I do for you both? I would like you both to make an intelligence test at +10. Leanne, I would like you to pass me a beer. Chewie, I would like you to stop climbing all over my desk while I'm trying to play a game. What's that, Chewie? Little Bobby has fallen down the well.
Sometimes when you pull a chair out, it sounds like a Wookiee. There's videos on YouTube of people just pulling chairs and making them sound like Wookiee.
Yeah, have you seen the Coke can one? The Coke can is incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, so she mentions Tranche, her time served on Tranche. Lady Cleves has obviously had some sort of rejuve treatment done at some point, but it's not the over-the-top, ageless, sexless treatment that a lot of others have had. But she definitely is trying to appear younger than she really is. You would place her anywhere between 50 and 60 years old, but she looks a bit younger. She's just told you she served on trance. You also know the story of how, or a bit of the story of how she became a noblewoman.
Yeah.
That she was married into the Cleves family for services rendered to the Cleves family. You also recall when you spoke with Felice, Felice told you that she had served on Tranche. You also heard a news broadcast today that the Tranche War was finally coming to an end after 5 long years. There's another bit of intel about Tranche. What is it? No, that doesn't apply to you. Okay. That'll do.
I'll cut to the chase, milady. We're looking for an entrance to the Alabaster Court, and the nobility have such connections. Would it be possible for you to go and invite one of us along?
She looks you up and down, smirks, looks at Ishmael, smirks even more. Ramsey, I would like you to make a fellowship charm or whatever you've got test that you think would apply here. And I'm going to give you a bonus of... Where is Lady Cleves? There is Lady Cleves. Oh my god. You get a bonus of plus 50.
How on earth did you wrangle that one?
Something must have happened. Who knows?
He's a charming little ratling.
Did you...
Lady Cleves, as she smirks, says, I have indeed attended the Alabaster Court thrice in the past, if you must know. It was shortly after my news I received of Norris, my husband, his death. And while I have always been a firm follower of the creed, in the wake of his death I found my resolve wavering. The usual platitudes and tidings arrived from my peers, but I found the words empty. I found my life for what it is, and has been and had been, lacking in some things. I never realised just how much I cared for the old coot until he was gone. And then along comes Lady Barella telling me that the God Emperor wants me to be happy, and, well, it certainly did not feel that way to me. I suppose I accepted her invitation at first to sneer at the idea, but I had planned on going and just giving them a piece of my mind. But, yeah. I attended, and it started to make a little more sense. It distracted me, the services on offer. I went home that evening conflicted about my own faith. And I realised that my desire to lash out against theirs was misplaced. Who was I to deny happiness and joy to those who craved it? It was wrong, I realised, to project my own misery, my own unhappiness onto others. I've been making donations to the choir for some time. Although I'm fairly certain I don't need the money, and lately I've started to suspect that there's something more there. Their leader, Scholl, speaks of their beliefs to spread throughout the mid-hive, to swell his power base. Throne knows many of the poor souls down in the mid-hive would enjoy a little joy in their life. And I did become a full member of the choir. I had never intended for that to happen. And in the months that follow, I attended twice more. The second time akin to the first, sermons, lectures, good food, drinks. Nice gym they have there in Hollow Suite. All sorts of diversions. And I forgot about Norris. I forgot about a great many things, but of course, diversion, distraction, is all it was. My third time, the vapid conversations with my peers, simple gossip, tedious political manoeuvrings, both of which I've done my very best to steer clear of in my time. Food fantastic, though. But it was useful. It helped me gain perspective. In time, however, I began to attend the temple of my youth. Do you know why I chose to not return, Sergeant Wallace?
Return where, my lady?
To the Alabaster Court.
I couldn't presume.
They speak of service to the Emperor through joy and happiness, not the hardship and toil and service that we of the Guard were taught. But more
Certainly not
important,
the imperial way we're used to.
she leans into you and says, but more importantly, Mr. Wallace, there's something very, very wrong with that place. You should be mindful and perhaps avoid it as best you can. A friend of yours has gone missing. Oh no, that was Dick. Sorry. Bad GM.
I'll lean back to her and say, I agree, my lady, and I would tell you that duty compels me to investigate the place further, along with everybody involved in it. And I must say, my lady, it goes very deep.
As you lean into her, you see Melissa takes several steps forward at incredible speed. And Lady Cleves holds out a hand and just stops her and says, duty, Mr. Wallace. And she glances between you and the hulking form of the tech priest, Ishmael Praetor, and says, duty to who? A visiting lord from Finksworld?
Oh, well, you know, the Culinary Quality Commission.
I'd like you to make a deceive roll.
Stay away from that nasty green jelly, my lady.
I'd like to make a deceive roll, Ramsey, please, at a +10. Oh my god. I just need to make a note of that. Culinary
Quality Commission.
quality. The CQC. All right. She leans back and smiles. Even she takes a step back from you and smiles and says, "Really? Well, in all my many years upon this world, I have never heard of such an adepter. However, you are, after all, in Thanks World. I tell you what, Mr. Wallace, I can get you in, but when you're in there, I want you to do me a favor.
At your service, my lady.
I would like you to have a meal with me. The rashor soup there is particularly good, and I wondered if you had ever tasted any better.
I'd be delighted to try it, my lady.
I assume it is you, Mr. Wallace, or is it your very silent friend here from Mars?
Oh, who needs the invite? Know what she means. Either of us, my lady, as befits your fancy.
Make another fellowship test, please, and this will be at the obscene +52. She says, "Me." She smirks again, looks between the pair of you, and says, "Me, a lady of scintillant hive society, arriving at the Alabaster Court with an abhumanori, tech priest of Mars, upon my arm. Well, think of the scandal, the outrage. It would be glorious. I accept. Melissa, cancel my meeting with Lord Verence tomorrow. He's a tedious man anyway, and I have no desire to make reparations for the events of the other day. Felice, choose a dress for me. I arranged the car for tomorrow night. Pick you up around 7:30, whichever one of you is coming.
That's most appreciated and kind, my lady.
I'd like to nod. I would say no.
Okay.
Old tech priesty.
All right. Right. So you've secured an invite. You don't need to rush off. You can hang out with Lady Cleves and her minions for a bit if you want. There's no need to roleplay that unless you actually want to ask anything or talk about anything. But if you want to hang around there a bit longer, you can. You can make some fellowship rolls to see if you can raise reputation or anything like that. It's still only around, not long after 11 a.m.
Yeah, I'll ask her to fill me in on anything she thinks was suspect with the Alabaster Court.
All right.
Or what tipped her off.
Okay. Ishmael, is there anything you'd like to discuss with Lady Cleves or her two handmaidens? They are both here as well.
I don't think so. I think I'll just say I'll try and just talk to her and see anything else we can find out, any more useful information we could possibly need while we're there. Obviously, we've both been, have we? She's been, so she maybe explain what the protocol is.
Yeah. All right, cool. So, protocol, what it's like.
Yeah.
What tipped her off.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. Protocol of what to do when we're there.
Anything she thinks is suspicious or something we could possibly look at while we're there.
Yeah, good idea, both of you guys.
Okay, both of you make a fellowship test. Ramsey again with a plus 52. Ishmael, you are going to have. You didn't have any rep with her, but you do now. Make a fellowship test with a plus 10, Ishmael.
Okay.
I'm going to re-roll that.
Yeah, thought you would.
Yeah. I might as well re-roll mine. I can't see who's doing. Which one am I?
I think it'd be a good use.
Hey! Look at that. Going well today.
All right. I mean, it doesn't mean you don't learn anything, because Lady Cleves seems to be quite forthcoming with Ramsey. Yeah. This is more about you developing a relationship with Lady Cleves.
Yeah.
And it's quite understandable, she's a mid-hive guardswoman married into the nobility. It's a story as old as time, You're a tech priest of Mars from a lathe world. It was never meant to be. Over the next 45 minutes or so, she tells you a little of what she knows. And the first thing she does is she discusses, as you would expect from a military woman, she discusses the defenses of Alabaster Court. This is something that first made her think something was amiss. She tells you that her practiced eye noticed some of the counselors, which are kind of like the lower level priests within the Joyous Choir. Like you've met, a counselor or a brogue. She tells you some of the counselors in the Alabaster Court are quite obviously, to her eye, armed, albeit not in an overt way. But she notices the telltale bulges are not in the place you would normally expect them on a man, she adds. They reveal concealed weapons. She also tells you that the main gate is heavily armed, especially on busy nights such as Thursdays, when new members are welcomed. They're armed by members of the magistratum. The gates are guarded by members of the magistratum. They don't seem to interfere with security protocols and letting people in, but there's a heavy magistratum presence there. The magistratum, of course, are basically like Scintilla's lawkeepers, the police, not the Arbeits, lower level than the Arbeits. She also tells you she has seen on her first arrival a number of heavy combat servitors and weapon turrets being maintained. And she got the impression that these weren't supposed to be seen. They were in hidden alcoves, but it appeared the alcoves had malfunctioned, suggesting they may be temperamental. Other things that tipped her off as to not everything might be as it seems is she has heard rumours of people that have attended the court going missing. And people go missing all the time, especially on Scintilla in Hive Sibilis. But she gets the feeling the court may be involved, and that's one of the reasons she stopped attending. When she attempted to speak with certain members of the magistratum about this, high-ranking officers, senior officers, she was told it would be looked into, and nothing ever came of it. These are things that make her suspect something's wrong.
Okay. Well, in return, I'll let her know that we're extremely concerned about people with any latent psychic potential, and it could be linked to disappearances. So if she knows anybody, to tell them to stay away from contacting the Alabaster Court and yeah, don't make contact with them, basically. Oh, and maybe up their security for their own safety.
Okay. And she replies to this by saying, "And why would I know someone with such abilities and not report them immediately to the authorities? The black ships tend to come here at least once a year."
Well, it could also apply to anyone with psychic potential, not just latent psychers.
Ishmael and Ramsey, I would like you both to make an intelligence test at -10.
Ooh.
Good, well, -10.
Oh,
Oops. Not doing very well.
Yeah, you're just saving up, Ed. You're saving up for when you really need to make her.
Right.
Yeah.
And Ishmael, when you talk to her about the protocols and what it's like there, she tells you how it's very pleasant, disturbingly pleasant. You know, this isn't the standard doctrine of the Imperial Creed. I mean, not that you'd know that much about that, but you'd have a vague idea. It's all very upbeat, very joyous, hence the name. She tells you on arrival, firearms are prohibited. They have to be handed over. Blades are allowed to be carried with it. But firearms are a big no-no. She tells you about the men on the gate who scan people with auspexes, and they whisper to some of them, "Rejoice, for you are true, brother. Your path to trueness begins here." Very strange. And she asks you, what on earth could an auspex be detecting that would read happiness?
It's actually what I just mentioned, my lady.
Exactly. These are the things that perturbed me. Okay. Anything else you'd like to discuss with Lady Cleves, or can I move on?
No, I think that's it.
I think that's it.
Okay, so you leave there after about an hour, heading back, I assume, to Lord Strove's?
Yeah, can I contact the guy I got my armour off and ask them if my concealed pocket would fall in Auspex?
You're going to do that when you get back?
Yeah, if that's more secure than over the
Yeah,
virtual.
it's a hardwired line when you're in a building as opposed to a wired wireless connection.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to contact Wilson regarding
And it will get me out
hidden
needed.
holster. All right. Okay.
Hey, Cavity be able to hold a gun? The one in my abdomen.
It would hold a pistol.
Have we got off specs? We have, haven't we?
You do.
I don't know if it's worth just trying to get a pistol in there and just
Having a practice.
Yeah.
I mean, you have. I think you have the Auspex, Ishmael.
Yeah, I know we had one between us. Like, I think.
Yeah, I think you.
Yeah.
I've got a psychic specs somewhere, but I think you've got the real specs.
Yeah. So I think maybe try that when we're back at the Manor Light. Just to see.
All right.
Then I can
Okay, so you're.
for
Okay, cool.
Good.
So that's going to be you until about 1 p.m. Dick and Mira, what are you doing from 12 to 1?
I'm going to go to Dericles' room while nobody can see me.
I can see you.
I mean, it depends. Are you following Dick? Have you got any reason?
I'm not following Dick, no.
No.
I told you to keep an eye on him. You've let him out of your sight.
He said he was off for a slash. I ain't going to watch.
Oh, you fell for the oldest trick in the book. The old
Okay,
off
so
for a slash trick.
you head over to the east wing of the manor house, and this wing, you remember when you first arrived here, was told would be off limits to the servants unless you requested their presence to clean your room or something like that. So you had privacy because Lord Stroves knows who you really are. So I'm going to give you the east wing. What a strangely familiar place this might be to some of you.
Have to come out of my game.
And Mr. Pincher, let's get Mr. Pincher. Let's get Mr. Pincher in his new outfit, just because I want to show some of the new...
Oh, you had some anti, didn't you, just as I started trying to do stuff out.
Okay, so you enter Dericles' room. It's not locked.
Well, it's not locked.
No.
What are you doing, Pincher?
I'm gonna make a search.
What are you
doing?
Make a search test at a plus 20, actually. You lift the mattress, and you find this book covered in strange, disturbing symbols. You recall a couple of days back, you and Vlad entered this room and saw Dericles reading this book, and he quickly tried to hide it under the mattress. But you remember, you found it. It's still there.
That's studying my room.
Okay.
Dick here.
You don't know nothing, Dericles. You're not there.
You don't. So you're taking the book to your own room?
Yeah, I'm going to start trying to read it with my A to B of alphabet.
Yeah, you're probably gonna really struggle. You're probably gonna really struggle to read this book. It's got a lot of big words, and it's not all in Low Gothic. In fact, none of it's in Low Gothic. But Low Gothic and High Gothic aren't that too dissimilar, and you start to read a few bits that are vaguely familiar, but you're not making a lot of sense of it. But you can spend an hour reading that.
Yeah, I'm going to really soak it in.
Yeah.
I'm going to try cast a fireball.
I'd like to make a willpower test at plus 30, please.
Okay. One day I'll be a witch, but keep trying to cast fire. With a plus 30, did you say?
Yeah.
What?
A willpower test at plus 30.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Okay.
Well, the plus 30 is because you're trying to read a book written in a language you don't understand.
Oh, I failed.
Okay, if you would add to your
Actually, I'm going to re-roll that.
all right.
Why not?
That's your character sheet.
Yeah, add to your character sheet Johnny's book.
Oh, pass.
Okay, I'd like you to add to your character sheet Book of Forbidden Law.
Bye-bye, Johnny's book. It's got Dick's book now.
And you spend a good hour happily flicking through it. There's some really disturbing pictures in here. There's pictures of people having their entrails opened. There's pictures of piles of skulls and bones. A lot of it is quite funny to you for some strange reason. But in the middle of the book, you see a picture of this creature, this large bipedal humanoid with a long neck and a beaked face and two massive wings spreading out from its back. You've never seen what the Crow Father looks like, but when you see this, you can't help but think, this feels familiar. This feels like the knowledge passed down to your people, the talk of Tissiak, Crowfather.
The Chaos Codex! Chaos Codex!
And for a brief moment, the edges of your vision seem to darken and flicker. I would like you to make another willpower test, please. This one will be a straight willpower test.
Okay. Straight. 1 second.
Dealing with things he doesn't understand.
Delightful picture of the Iron Will.
And you sit there.
It's ridiculous. Picture's got like 19, and he always passes. What?
You sit there and you think
So
of
annoying.
you think of Tissiak, and you think of the crows, the shale crows that inhabited your home, and you think of Vlad and Reg, and these shadows darken and lengthen, and for a brief moment you see a flicker of feathers at the edge of your vision, and you turn and say, "Fuck off," and it does. The image is dispelled.
Wow.
I'm just going to have a piss, and then I'll see what Mira's doing for this hour.
That's good use of an hour, Hayden.
Thank you. I was about to say it. Still a bit back to Switchcraft.
On a mission.
Yeah. Well, I've already done my mission. What are you lot doing?
Got time to kill. You're ahead of the curve, Pincher.
Try not to take too much time with that.
Idle hands make for heresy.
You lot don't know nothing. I'm doing this in secret.
I just think you're having issues on the toilet. Say Harry lied that it was a slash.
You hear enough right in there.
It's true dark heresy what you've laid down there. Yeah, probably. That Dick Squitter.
Yeah.
Wrestling with an arse badger.
Oh, nobody wants one of them. That's really vicious.
Ooh.
Roll, eh?
I cannot fucking believe Dick passed that. I was about to have such fun. Anyway, Mira, what are you doing during this hour while Dick's disappeared?
Trying some alchemy again.
More alchemy?
Yeah.
Okay. So give me trade apothecary roll at minus 20, please.
Oh, Dick. Police whistles.
Again, it's all progress.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. You spend a good hour. You starting to think you're getting to a stage now where maybe a little bit more research, a little bit more experimentation, and you'll have isolated all the different chemicals within this, with the exception of the human DNA. You know it's human,
Yeah.
but you need to work out exactly what.
So I need a proper.
You need a proper lab or some
Test.
sort of special medical equipment. Obviously, Lord Stroths doesn't really have anything like that. He has a small infirmary which he keeps, loads and loads of painkillers and things like that in, just everyday drugs. All right, Vladimir and Dericles. It's taken you a good couple of hours to ride down the transit system and along the rail track like you did before. And you easily find your way back to this district. I mean, the first time you were here, you did spend some time wandering around trying to find the temple before Dick managed to chat up a couple of bruisers and get you directions to the temple. So you know where the temple is here. And I'm going to assume you spent a bit of time trying to find out exactly where Maylene Trun's shop is, because it would be a bit harsh of me otherwise. And you find Maylene Trun's shop. It's quite small. It's next to a hadlock. It's sort of on the corner of a hadlock in the ground floor. And it simply says Trun Tailoring above the door. It does look quite well to do for this region. It's quite a rundown region. Some of this area, this district, has been overrun by factorums, and there's a lot of rubble still on the streets, as though these factorums were just knocked up, and the rubble was never really cleared away. A lot of the hadlocks are grey and dirty from the smoke and the belching fumes that come out of these manufactorums. But Maylene Trun's shop looks very clean. The sign looks quite new. It looks a little more upmarket. It's definitely still a mid-hivers shop, but you know that Maylene Trun sells to the upper hive. So obviously she spends some of her money tending to the small shop she owns and making sure it's in good condition.
Okay.
The shop stands before you.
I'd like to walk in.
You enter. Okay, pair of you enter. There's no customers. There is a servitor standing in one corner of the room. It's humanoid apart from its feet, a sort of very small tracks. It looks like a fairly decent quality servitor. Not many mid-hivers would own a servitor. But it's dressed in a very well-tailored suit, and it holds in one hand what looks like a tape measure. And behind the counter, you see the familiar mousy form of Maylene Trun. And she glances up she appears to be sketching something. She glances up and says, "Good day, gentlemen. Can I..." "Oh, well, Lord Rains, Brother Dericles, this is a pleasant surprise." Surprise? She's turned Chinese.
Oh, that's a pleasure with your talk.
No one by dress. You come here by dress. Me measure you good. You want balls supporting or hanging low? Yeah.
I'd like to turn to the door and close the door and put the little sign on there that's inevitably there to closed.
Okay.
And then move over to Mrs. Trout.
Trun.
Yes, that's exactly, Mrs. Trun.
She looks a little alarmed as you flip her sign to closed, and she takes a half step back from the counter.
I'm going to walk up and I'm going to try and keep my voice soothing. I'm going to say, I've got to get a name right though when I speak to her. Is it Maylene Trun, right?
Maylene Trun.
Maylene Trun.
Trun.
And she's not. She's like a middle class, so she's not a noble in any way. So she's not a Lady Trun.
No.
What's the correct way to address her, I suppose.
Well,
Miss Tron,
it depends
I
on
suppose.
how polite you want to be. Yeah, Miss Trun would be a pretty good catch-all for this sort of situation. If you want to be offensive, call a bitch.
No. I'll
If you
go.
want to be offensive or a pimp.
I'm gonna go, Miss Tron, my dear Miss Tron, or may I call you Malene?
Yeah, that's fine, my lord.
May I impose upon you a moment of your time?
I don't see why not. Yeah.
Please do not be alarmed. I come here on an important matter, a matter of the heart.
Derek going to look at Vlad and sort of with a questioning look, and then just turn back forward and like.
All right.
What is she
Slowly.
say? Anything? She's staying quiet. Is she, or-
Concerned
Yeah, she's
look on his
staying
face.
quiet. She's just watching you curiously.
My this member of my retinue.
It's not what you think. It's not to do with me and him.
My man here,
No.
my spiritual advisor. He has been beside himself since he met you. He has been admiring you from afar. He's
Derek is going to look at his feet and sort of like kick him, like sort of like shuffle his feet, one of his feet a little bit.
He has been captured not only by your beauty and your fine taste in clothing, but also, more importantly, by your spiritual purity and your trueness.
Indeed, I have.
He has asked me to intercede on his behalf, and
Maylene glances between you
What
and
the fuck
Derek
is going on?
I would like you both to make.
How could you do
I'd like
this
you
to
both.
me?
This is brilliant. I'd like you to make a couple of rolls. First of all,
God.
Dericles, I'd like you to make a
Most hideous
deceive
looking
roll.
priest in the history of priesthood.
I'd like you to make a deceive roll, please, Dericles, for your bashful shuffling of your feet. However, you get a plus 10 for your reputation with Maylene Trun, and I'm going to give you a plus 20 because you're a member of the cloth, and this sort of thing wouldn't ordinarily happen. And to have a lord intercede with you, so a total of plus 30, please.
Priests aren't celibate in this world, are they? I hope not.
Yeah. Yeah, most of them are. I mean, maybe not in the joyous
okay.
choir, but
Okay. All right. Okay.
some of them are, some of them aren't. Okay.
Hey!
And Vlad, I would like you to also make a charm test or fellowship, something like that. Plus 10 for your rep.
Jesus.
And I'm going to give you another plus 10 for the mention of trueness. And
Okay.
yeah.
Could I also? I mean, this would be the perfect time to rock some psychic powers, wouldn't it? I can't believe I've
Do
not
it.
got charm or deceive. I'd like to use lucky and knack, please, if you're so kind.
Yeah, go for it.
And nothing could possibly
No.
go
No.
wrong.
No. Do
It's
it.
just it's not possible. Okay, so plus 5. So for a spell that's already been named, and for knack, it's a go off, and this for
Yeah.
the charm roll. So it's charm
Plus-
plus 20.
Plus it's
20?
plus 20, but it's a plus 30 for knack. Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Thank you.
and a reroll.
Can't go wrong.
Oh, you didn't need them, Al. Despite
Yeah.
your hideous visage hidden behind this horrific mask that you wear.
She just got the hots. She's just got the hots for Derek. That's why it's so easy.
Mayleen's hot for Derek.
She wants to believe it.
Yeah. I'm going to need. First of all, I'm going to need a Bailian to deal with what's about to happen. I haven't actively flirted with another player for quite some time.
What, more of a week or something? I don't know.
You love it.
Yeah, at least a week.
You love it.
I do love it. It's really good fun. It's especially good fun when I lure Dick into a threesome.
Very sexy, Liam.
I mean, it's a common theme. I lure player characters into bed, and then when I am a player character, I fuck everything that moves. Alan can confirm.
Well, I certainly can't deny that one.
Well, at least I try to. But, all right. So Maylene looks a bit abashed for a moment and looks quite embarrassed. The cheeks flush. And she glances up at you and says, "My lord," and then glances round at you at Dericles and says, "I'm not sure this is quite forthcoming of you to be. You must." She looks a little tongue-tied, and eventually she says, "You must certainly think a great deal of your spiritual advisor to intercede on his behalf in such a way."
I owe him my very soul.
Dericles is just going to close his eyes and nod. But we still have that serious look on. We met the
She seems to totally ignore you for a moment, Vlad. Looks at you, Dericles, and you're still wearing these special robes that you have, with the lights in, with the Aquila, and she says, "Well, Brother Dericles, I see you wear the robe I made for you." And you didn't know until this moment. You didn't know until this moment that it was Maylene that wore this.
All right. You created this, then I shall never take it off ever again.
Brother Dericles.
That's how a clergyman plays.
She produces a small hand fan. Oh. Brother Dericles. I'd like you to make. Sorry.
I was just going to say. Go on. Sorry, go on.
No, just make a fellowship roll with a +20, please, Johnny. And Al, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say. What I wanted to say was perhaps I should leave you two alone for a moment. Dericles, I'll be outside waiting for you.
Okay.
And I shall leave the lovebirds.
Okay. So you head outside.
God, what's going on?
Oh.
I'm gonna. Oh no, I can't. I'm just gonna nudge him. No. I'm gonna head out.
Okay, so you head out, and as soon as the door shuts behind Vlad, Maylene lifts her counter and comes round, and she stands maybe 5 or 6 feet away, wringing her hands, Dericles, and she says to you, I remember seeing you at Lady Barella's party. I didn't think people of your station were allowed to have such feelings. I thought the Emperor forbade them.
Is Joy also? Joy, there's a chance of Joy also. I think not.
Say again, Johnny. I didn't hear that. You broke up.
Is Joy also forbidden? I think not. The Emperor would like to see all of it. And I am most happy now.
Joy forbidden? Why, in some circles, perhaps, Brother Dericles. I'm not familiar with your own order, but I know many of the more traditional methods of belief in regards to the Imperial Creed do push the subject of misery and despair. However, the Joyous Choir, Father Scholl's belief system, and that of myself, we believe that joy is something to be enjoyed, I suppose, to be taken into one's heart and used to praise the God Emperor with happiness.
Dericles looks around. Is any of those hand fans similar to the ones that you've got?
Make a perception check at +10.
Okay.
There is a small box of hand fans on the counter.
I'm just going to take one fan from there. As she says this, flip it open and fan myself. Well,
I feel like we've delved into Pride and Prejudice territory right now.
Yeah, what's
Oh,
going on?
Mr. Darcy. Oh dear, Mr. Darcy. The milk has gone off in the fridge. Whatever will we do?
buy some more from the shop, dear. Send the servant to get them from the shop.
Okay. And she grins at you as you mimic her behaviour, and she quickly stops fanning and folds her fan and puts it in her dress and says, I do apologise.
Taking a piss.
I'll do the same, but with a slight mysterious flick across my face.
You sort of get the impression that she thinks you might be mocking her a little, but she doesn't mind. She's kind of enjoying it. She says, well, Brother Dericles, I don't know what to say.
Say you'll come to church.
To church with you? Why? Mr. Dericles, people will talk. But
let them talk.
I feel
a pious woman and a pious man together, no sin.
I feel a yearning in my heart, Mr. Dericles.
I feel it too.
As though the God Emperor himself has thrust us together in this moment. A chance meeting at Lady Barella's party. Nothing would give me greater pleasure than to attend a sermon alongside you, my dear Mr. Dericles. But tell me, where is the church of your faith?
Where was it, Justin?
Well, your particular church of faith doesn't really exist, but your cover story one would be on Fenk's World. But if you're going for something else, then
normally it would be Fenk's World. But I would say, but here, it's the what's it called? The one here. This is why I should read the notes and shouldn't drink whiskey. Shouldn't drink whiskey.
I'm gonna.
Well, there's Father Scholl's, Counselor of Brogue's temple that you've already visited. But you're obviously trying to secure an invite to the Alabaster Court.
Yeah. Well, I've been attending Counselor. Is it Brogue? Is it
a Brogue? Yeah.
Yeah. I've been attending a Brogue's church, Brother of Brogue, but I'm looking to reach a little higher to get back. I have heard of the Alabaster Court. I believe I'm ready. I believe we're ready to go together. Call it a date. Call it a.
This is quite direct, Pericles. So I'm going to ask for 2 rolls.
Call it a step towards trueness. But I believe we are already on that path.
Okay.
Oh
my God.
I would like 2 rolls from you. The first of which will be charm. Sorry, the first of which will be deceive. You're going to get a bonus to this of where's Dericles? Dericles and Maylene Trun. Dericles, Maylene Trun. You get a plus 20. You mentioned trueness, so I'm going to give you a plus 30 to your deceive.
Okay. Yes.
Dericles, a deceiver.
And then I would also like a charm test from you with the same modifier, please.
Don't tell me.
Fanatical face of scars. Get a bunch of
Don't tell Malene about your dirty book under your bed, Derek.
Now, at this point, I'd like to point out. I'd like to point out that Brother Dericles is. I'm assuming you didn't bring your eviscerator.
Well, I don't know about that. No, I mean,
you do have a normal chainsword as well.
Yeah.
Which probably would be less conspicuous. Well, the thing I want to point out right now about Brother Dericles is, yes, he's walking around in these robes, very nice robes that you've got from Maylene Trun, so it turns out. But the one thing that you've never changed about your character is that you're wearing this rather sinister leather mask of the Brotherhood of the Cleansing Flame, Redemption. And as you
Still
say
going
these
on.
words to this humble dressmaker, she blushes once more and produces a fan again. And says, "Oh, Brother Dericles, your words bring music to my ears. It just so happens that only a few days ago, all my hard work within Councillor Brogue's temple has been noticed, and I do in fact have an invitation to the Alabaster Court for tomorrow evening."
Is there room for another loyal servant?
Well, it does say +1 on the invitation, and I was at a loss for someone to take with me. But if you'd like to attend with me, nothing would give me greater pleasure, sir.
Seems the God Emperor's guided us each other's paths. I would be honoured. Shall I pick you up at, say, 7:30?
As brilliant as that is, Johnny, make an intelligence roll. Make an intelligence roll with a +10.
Oh, that's
Plus,
not good.
wait, with a, actually, thinking about it, with a
I passed it.
+15.
I'll be
Oh,
3
you passed
degrees.
it anyway. Okay, so first of all, you don't drive.
Okay.
Second of all, someone traveling from the upper hive to the mid hive might be frowned upon in social circles. I'm not saying you can't, but you would know that.
Okay.
Thirdly, you do know that Miss Trun has a pass to the upper hive because she was at Lord Barella's party, Lady Barella's party.
Okay.
So
Would that pass work for me, or will I have to get a pass?
well, you already have a pass.
Oh, I do have a pass. That's right. Like, where can I meet her potentially? Where's somewhere pious near to where she would have to go? I can meet her at the shop, couldn't I?
Yeah, I mean, you can come and pick her up here, but my point is that you don't have any transportation, and it is a very, very long walk.
Yeah, it is. I'm just trying to think. Can I rack my brain to think of a good place to meet?
Give me a straight intelligence test.
Yeah, it's not good. No.
Okay.
Life mirrors art.
Lord Strokes has a fleet of shuttles and drivers. And you do know from previous encounters in various parts of the mid-hive that certain parts of the mid-hive do have shuttle ports on the outskirts on the hive skin.
Okay. So... Do I know? Can I give a location? Like, is there any sort of religious building near? I'll move at the shop, and we'll go from there to the thing. But how far are these platforms?
It's probably on foot. It's probably an hour or so walk from the shop to the hive wall where the shuttle pads would be, to the nearest one.
Yeah. Well, we could do that, couldn't we? Perhaps I pick you up at 7:30, and we could take a walk to the shuttle port.
Okay.
And I will have a shuttle waiting for us.
Just making a note of that. It says, "My dear brother Dericles, that sounds delightful."
Till then, and then I'm just going to bow, extend my hand, and extend my hand. If
she takes your hand and she gives you a little dainty curtsy.
And then, as she curtsies me, I'm just going to give her a quick peck on the hand, and then pass it back. And then seal my hand, and nod back.
Okay, give me one last fellowship test at +20, please.
Follow. Yeah.
So what's that? 4 degrees. You gain a little more rep with Miss Trun as a result of that final roll. That's what that was for the courtesy you've shown her. And yeah, you've got another invite.
Boom.
3 for
Boom.
free.
Excelente.
All right. Are you done? Vlad and Derek?
I say I'm
Yeah,
outside, but yeah, I mean,
That'd
he's
be
done
so,
enough.
right? So I turn to go, and give her one last look in the eyes before I go.
Okay.
And the brief, very brief smiles, quick wink, and then go out the door.
Wait, wait. Oh god.
No, I don't do a quick wink.
Quick wink through that.
Last
one.
You've already done it, you can't take it back.
Yeah.
Take back.
I just need to do some quick.
Not what you do.
All right.
How
So
I
Vlad,
forgot my-
Vlad and
Oh,
Derek,
man.
are you heading back to Strauss Manor?
Yeah.
I'm going to say, so, how did it go, young Derek?
Well, my lad, I appear to have a date for the Alabaster Court tomorrow.
Good man, Derek. I knew she couldn't resist you.
Derek, game.
Your faith in me is admirable.
Yes, good.
They were sort of hold my Aquila, twizzle it, and sort of look a bit wistfully at the sky as I'm thinking about it.
Let us make our way back to the Strauss Manor, and we can report our success.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Would you be able to help me with the arrangement? I need a shuttle to take us to the upper hive, and but I will be meeting her on foot. We're walking to the shuttle pod.
Very good. Yes, I'm sure Strauss will take care of everything. Let us head back post haste.
Okay, so you begin heading back to Lord Strauss Manor. It's around 1 p.m. So simultaneously, I'll deal with everyone. No need to deal with that. You didn't send any messages in the end to anyone, did you? Apart from Dick spoke directly to Lord Althwaite, so that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right. So I'm not going to need that page, that page, that page, that page, that page, that page.
You might as well chuck it in the bin.
Yeah. I'm not going to need all 7 of those pages. Well played, guys. You
Yeah.
totally circumvented me once again.
Good.
Over prepping again. So around 1 p.m. Dick and Mira, what are you doing around 1 p.m.?
He's been gone for an awfully long shit now, hasn't he?
I am wondering what's. Maybe I should check on him.
It's up to you if you want to go check on him.
You don't know what sort of state you'll find Dick in. You wouldn't really want to walk.
I mean, you do know he's suffering from Farcosia withdrawal in some respects, but on the other hand, you treated him today,
Yeah.
and he seemed absolutely fine. You've no reason to suspect he's suffering from Farcosia.
Sitting on the toilet reading the Book of the Dead.
I walked in him and be still the same ago. Terrible.
What got to do?
Do you want me to tell you some of the things you've been working on if you're at a loss for something?
Yeah, I can't really.
Okay. So some of the things you've been working on, you do still have some more research you could do to this Farcosia cure, for want of a better word, antidote. You have been in the past producing sedatives. I think you still have some ingredients to make more. You also have the materials to make something called Truth Revealed, which is like a truth serum. You also have the ingredients to make hallucinogenics, and you have raw ghost fire on you that I think you can make ghost fire extract out of. Other things that you've worked on in the past, you've got your 2 books of saints that you've been reading, the Rule of Sororitas book. You've been praying in churches and temples. delivering speeches. You probably can't really do that here. You've got some data slates given to you by Silas Marr, who you were seconded to for a while, one of the other Inquisitors. You can research new recipes for your apothecary stuff. You've got singing that you've practiced on. I've also got a count of how many times you've been drinking and taken drugs.
I think I may as well work on this. What I've been doing. The antidote, yeah, seems quite important.
So 1 hour more on that. Give me another
Yeah.
roll, please. So it's a -20 again.
To the trader pocket.
Mm-hmm.
You get the wind.
What you got?
Success.
How much?
1.6 degrees.
Oh, cool. All right.
Excellent. Excellent.
Okay, so that's about as much as you can do on Farcosia without having access to a proper lab to discover the origins of the human DNA that's within it. Mr. Pincher, the next hour, what are you doing?
I'm going to practice a bit more witchcraft.
You're going to carry on reading this book of Derek's?
Yeah.
Good book, isn't it?
All right.
Almost.
Oh.
Let me just make a note of this. Reading Derek's book of naughty book.
It looks a bit like that book out of Evil Dead.
Yeah, it does. It does. You don't need to make any tests for this just now. You still just you just leave things through it. I mean, if you want to make a test to try and cast a fireball, please do. It'll be a willpower test. Actually, it won't be a willpower test. Just roll a d10. It's a psychic test, so roll a d10.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it. That's what you're reading.
Lovely.
That's neat. Where'd you get that from, Ed?
Oh, I've had it years, this. DVD.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's a DVD. That's cool.
I've had it years. I might even have the receipt. I'll tell you when it was. I think it's like... can't read it's paid that much.
Huh?
It must have been in the 90s. Got it.
Wow.
Cool.
Dick, can you roll a d10 and add your willpower bonus for me, please?
That's massive 3.
Okay, so 3 plus your will. Oh, d10. What? Your willpower bonus is 3.
I've got a total of 2.
A total of 2. How does that work? Oh, yeah. So you rolled a 1. Yeah. So that doesn't cast anything, mainly because it's a low roll, but also because you're not a psyker. But you carry on reading the book. You don't have another disturbing image. You kind of steer clear of that page that you came across where, you saw this image that put you in mind of Tissiak. But you carry on reading. It's all progress. Around this time, Ishmael and Ramsey, you arrive back at Strove's Manor. What would the pair of you like to do?
We're going to see if one of his pistols fits in my cavity.
Oh, yeah, the old cavity check.
And then we're going to do
There's no chance for Johnny now. You've lost him.
Pause for Johnny.
I think the bit earlier on where you were talking about butcher, opening doors and entering. I think I did very well to.
I don't know if you've noticed, Johnny, but I tend to put at least one moment in all my previous lists just for you.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
All right. So, which are you doing first? Are you checking the full body cavity search, or are you trying to hide Ramsey's pistol?
I suppose you best see if one fits in there first.
All right. What sort of pistol are you trying to hide in Ishmael's cavity?
You could probably.
Well, if you take the normal-sized Fate Bringer, it's going to take the smaller one as well.
Just remember, I've never done it before, so
So
Digestible.
before you proceed with this, I must point out that the best quality slimline fate bringer you have, Ramsey, is designed for your slinky holster that is in your jacket.
Yeah, I need to call up that guy and ask him if that would have our specs.
Well, we've got our own aspects. We can try it.
Oh, true, yeah.
I mean, you can try it and you can call him if you want.
Well, Ishmael, try it then with the aspects.
I'm going to scan. He's going to put his fate bringer in his hidden pocket.
Yeah. Slimline one in my holster and see if that helps.
All right. So first of all, Ramsey, I would like you to make an agility roll. Straight agility.
Yeah. I'll re-roll it.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you get that back?
Nope. It's 2 left.
All right. Okay, so you put this pistol in your jacket and close the jacket, and you realise it doesn't look like you're carrying at all. It's really cleverly made, so there's a slight curvature to the other side of the jacket to make it look like, you know, it's natural. You're just a bit more muscular than what you really are. So to the naked eye, it doesn't look like you're carrying a weapon. Ishmael, I would like you to make a tech use test at -20, please, for using the Auspex.
At -20.
Mm-hmm.
Using the Auspex.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So ordinarily you'd get a +20 for using an Auspex. But this is a shielded ballistic weave suit.
What I wanted to know.
Look at that. Failed again.
Yeah, you cannot detect Ramsey's pistol. And you're pretty good at this sort of thing, and you know it's there, so it should be easier. But you cannot detect it. You think, unless there's someone scanning Ramsey who is more technically competent than you, Ramsey's going to be really unlucky to have that pistol discovered.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Yeah. You want to ring the guy anyway and see what his professional opinion is?
Did I?
And we'll also check out my cavity again, if you don't mind.
All right. So what are you putting in? You're putting Ramsey's other fate bringer in?
Yeah, I think we're just going to put something in there. Just try it.
Yeah.
And then obviously Ramsey will have to give me the scan. So he's got tech use, hasn't he? So
yep.
Just to see if he could detect anything.
Okay, so it's a bit of a tight squeeze to get the fate bringer in.
Yeah,
you do get it in. It might not be particularly fast to draw it. So basically what I'm saying is, if you try and draw it in a combat scenario, it won't be a simple quick draw or half an action to draw it. It might take a little longer because it's a very snug fit. But I would like you to make a concealment test, please, Ishmael, with a +10. I mean, what you're basically doing here is learning the mechanics of how this works.
You scan me, I'll scan you.
Yeah.
I think I could probably get high for a roll. Have another go.
Say again?
I think I could probably roll a bit high if I really tried.
Yeah, you could. You could get a 99 and break your concealed cavity.
Yeah.
Break your ring. And Ramsey,
99.
I'd like you to, if you're scanning Ishmael, I mean, there's no way you can see this. You know, this is hidden within Ishmael's abdomen. But if you'd like to make a tech use test at, it would be, so it's +20 for the all specs, but you'd lose the +20. This will be -10.
Well, that'd be a pass.
Yeah. So yeah, you cannot detect the pistol hidden within Ishmael.
Right. So if Ramsey, if you ring that guy just to see what his professional opinion is on it, on yours, I mean, And then we've got 2 possible ways of getting.
I'm feeling like we were told that it was shielded after Dave mentioned it.
You were told when you were given it, it's a shielded holster within a suit that is designed to make it look like it won't stand out. And you also know the guy you got it from, Sean Wilson, my dear boy, is a guy that frequently makes weapons and equipment for members of the Inquisition. Yeah. So it's reasonable to suspect that there probably aren't many people that can make better than what he's given you.
Yeah, so we've potentially got 2 ways of getting firearms in, or small firearms in anyway. So obviously,
cool. Okay.
And like I've said before, you can take blades. It is allowed to take blades. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing stopping any of you trying to hide a weapon to get in there. It's just there is a chance it'll be discovered. Okay? I need a piss again. That's another hour done. Ishmael and Ramsey are done. Dick and Mira are done. Vlad and Dericles are on the way back. Have a think about what you want to do for the next hour while I have a piss.
I wasn't expecting that one. Wasn't expecting that at all.
What wasn't you expecting?
You put me on the spot there. I think on my feet. Damn you!
That was a good game.
It went well. It all went smooth as
butter. It go well, yeah.
Good.
So, she's a pious woman.
She is.
She needs a pious man in her life. She needs a bit of Dericles.
She does. Everyone needs a bit of Dericles in them.
See, it was a much better plan than trying to eat the jelly.
Yeah.
And get scanned and all that malarkey.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know.
It was
try it.
No, we didn't try. No, we didn't try that plan, did we? So that's true.
Okay, so at 2 p.m.
This wasn't a more amusing plan, though.
Yeah, it was. I got to give you credit for that. It was an amusing plan. Ishmael, for the next hour, what are you doing?
What time are we on?
It's about 2 p.m.
2 p.m. We've pretty much done all we can do. Just a quick check. Don't think I've got out on to do in. Where are we? Where is it?
If there's nothing mission orientated you want to do, let's.
Have a quick look on my progress and stuff.
You could do some crafting. You do still get a bonus from Lord Stroph's has a workshop. It's not as good as what you're used to in the Inquisition, obviously, but it is still a half decent workshop if you wanted to do any work on anything.
Yeah, I think I might carry. I think the only thing I can really do is have a go at my chem injecting thing model, because everything else is. I got the stuff for where I am.
So where have you got to? Yeah, you could reconfigure the chirurgeon's hand. You don't need any extra materials for that.
Yeah, I can't. How far are we? How many have I done? 1, 2.
So
3.
you've modified the chem injector.
Yeah.
And you've begun work on reconfiguring the chirurgeon's hand.
Yeah, I will have a go. I'll spend an hour doing that at the minute until we know what else we're doing.
All right, so give me a trade armor roll. It's a -10 for the difficulty, and with Lord Stroph's workshop, you gain a +10. So it's a straight trade armor roll, please.
Trade armor roll. Up. Trade armor. Oh, me, I passed one.
Nice.
4 degrees.
Okay, so that's another hour spent tinkering with this hand. You basically, it's gone from being a hand like this to being a bit more of a hand like this. Or that's what you're working on. There's still a good few hours work to do on that modifying.
Yes, I think when Mira's on about doing like a truth serum, I think that'd be pretty good in just to walk up behind someone and.
Yeah.
I got.
Or the sedatives that she can work on as well, actually.
Yeah.
Which you've done the similar thing before. Vlad sedated. Who was it? Sedated. Oh, the mourner.
Yeah, yeah.
By the way, the Mona is still locked up in the Tricorn Palace. Hey. But yeah, imagine how easy that would have been with a little
No
hat.
eyes.
So that's Ishmael done for an hour. Pincher.
Okay. I'm going to carry on trying to read dark magic.
Yeah, okay.
Obsessed by it. The Pincher
It's
is.
another hour.
That's a great picture book. That's what Derek Lee most enjoys.
So yeah, your progress on this, by the way, Dick, is a little slower than your progress would be with other skills because it's written in such an obscure language.
Yeah. Cool.
But as you go and as you learn more about reading, this will eventually come up to a good level. So I'll log that. Mira?
Have a little drinky drink.
A little drinky drink.
Why not say?
All right. Okay.
Celebration not having to ring that fucking pervert.
Oh, actually,
Oh,
now we're on this subject, I would actually like to broach something with you, Mira.
I'm an alcoholic now.
Oh no, nothing like that. Nothing like that. I mean, not yet. Anyway, but I would like
Being
to.
driven to alcoholism.
I mean,
This
I would
wasn't my
imagine.
mission. This was not my mission.
I would imagine that a lot of people in the Inquisition do end up as alcoholics.
Yes.
But-
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna take you elsewhere. You wander around Lord Stroth's Manor for a bit. You've learned a bit of the layout of this place, and you know there's a couple of places you can get a drink.
All right.
And one such place is on the ground floor, not far from the librarian, the infirmary, and what in another dimension might be a workshop belonging to a certain very coy tech priest. But in this particular mansion, it's slightly different. And I'm just going to find something for you. Never put it. So there's two characters there. Mira. One of them is the one I created not long back in the brightly coloured dress, and the other one is another one that I've found. Which would you rather use as your token for all this business with the nobility? Obviously, one of them is black, and you are black. I didn't mean that to sound the way it came out.
The truth, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
it
use
is.
the bald-headed black one.
The bald-headed black one, not the one with the white wig.
No.
Okay, so this is Sister Mira, and you are quite large, if you look.
Yes.
And you enter the bar, and behind the bar is Jives, the manservant, who you've encountered a number of times before. He brought you the package earlier with all the different devices. He stands behind the bar, and he's shaking a cocktail shaker. He says, "Ah, Lady Rains, I thought I would see you around this time."
Is that so? Hello, Jives. What have you got?
Well, I have a great many drinks. I'm currently making myself a little something, but if you would prefer, I do have a rather nice 714 Catalan Malmsey.
Sounds good, Jives. Crickets.
Make an intelligence test. Make an intelligence test. Plus 20.
Oh
please.
no, what have I done? Yeah.
It's not always bad when I ask for a test. It's just to see if you know things.
Plus what, sorry?
20.
Yeah.
What you got?
Obsessed with 3 degrees.
Okay, so you know, I mean, you were raised in a convent, but you're not a fucking total idiot. You know enough about wine to know that a 714 refers to the year it was made.
Yeah.
The current year is 815. This is a 101-year-old bottle of wine. You also know Kathleen Malmsey is ridiculously expensive wine.
Mm.
Some of you might know from a different campaign that an average bottle of this wine retails at around 10,000 thrones. It was served to what's her face?
What's the face?
Vanessa?
Lady Pagny. After Canny, etc., found it in a warehouse, each bottle was worth 10,000 thrones. You neglected to steal it for yourselves. Mesmeron gave it away. Anyway, so he serves you a glass of wine that is worth approximately 2,500 thrones, and you are aware that it's worth about that.
Oh,
This is an incredibly rare vintage.
I'm
And he
okay.
served you this wine. He hasn't asked you for any money.
Okay.
You're a guest of Lord Strauss. And he continues to shake his cocktail. And after a few moments, he pours himself a cocktail, reaches under the counter, puts an ashtray on the bar, takes a cigar, lights it, looks at you for a moment, then offers you the box.
Why not? I'm having a celebration.
Take a cigar, Jive reaches over and lights it for you. Says, I thought you were that kind of girl.
Oh. You're damn straight, Jives.
I apologise for my lack of decorum. However, it is my day off. But I rarely actually get to have my day off. And so I continue to hang around the mansion and provide my services, but Lord Strauss understands that he will not get the usual levels of service out of me on my day off.
It's okay, Jives. Celebrate with me.
I'd be delighted to. What are we celebrating? Perhaps you'd be so kind as to pass me another drink, Lady Rains.
Well, Jives, I don't have to contact a pervert. Let's celebrate.
Well, in my humble experience, my Lady Rains, not having to contact pervert is always a good day. To your health.
To my
And
health
he
and
offers you his
safety.
cocktail glass. And as you catch a whiff of this drink that he clinks with you, it smells like there's all sorts in there. It smells incredibly potent. And he takes a sip. Your husband, Lord Rains, forgive me. The mask.
Yes.
Is that a local custom, or is it some sort of fashion thing?
I don't know.
Or is he hideously scarred?
It is his own business.
Ooh. I would like you to make a fellowship test, or it would be straight fellowship test, and it would be at Lord Strove's staff. There we go. Yes, I even track your reputation with the staff. A plus 20, please, fellowship.
Oh.
Well, I'm terribly sorry, Lady Rains. I didn't mean to intrude. I was merely trying to make polite conversation. And he sort of turns a little away from you. He looks a little perturbed.
Never mind, Jives. There's no issue. It's
I'm
just
sure there is.
a matter of time.
Well, forgive me, my Lady Rains. I didn't mean to intrude at all. I mean, I understand that everyone has their secrets, things that they wish to keep concealed from other people.
Yes. Yes.
I myself have many secrets.
Is that so, Jives?
Yes. I mean, look at it this way, Lady Rains. I am a manservant within a house of great repute. I hear a great many comings and goings. I imagine your servants back home on Fenxworld have similar secrets about your own family. Of course, the trick is that some of us understand the concept of discretion and how we may be privy to such secrets, but it is part of our service and our oath to keep what we see and hear to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure your servants are the same.
Oh, yes, Jives. Yes, Jives.
So you're telling me you do have secrets? I pull your leg. I'm sorry, Miss Rains. I'm sorry, my lady. I'm just joking with you. I don't expect you to tell me this. Oh, I'm sorry.
He's
Please.
telling you I have servants, Jives.
Oh, you have servants. Well, yes. I noticed. I did notice, however, you didn't bring many with you, did you?
No.
No. Why is that?
Oh, we're coming to such a reputable place. We thought we'd be quite safe, Jives.
I'm not talking about safety and security. While you're within Lord Stroke's manor, you have the safety and security afforded by the Magistratum and the Protectorate and all the defences that Lord Stroke has to offer. I'm talking more about lackeys, hangers on people like myself. You know, those beneath you.
Oh, we have a few lackeys with us, Jives.
Oh, I've noticed, yes. Yes. The abhuman, the one who barely speaks Gothic, the Martian tech priest, and that strange chap with the large chainsword.
Yes, we value their company and assistance, Jives.
I see that.
Yes.
You get the impression, this goes on for quite some time, you get the impression that Jives is digging for dirt.
Yes, I've noticed.
But I would like you to make a fellowship roll, please, for this general chat with him. You will get, the Lord Stroke stuff. A plus 20, please. All right. So at the end of this conversation, about an hour you talk to him, you get the impression there's nothing malicious coming from Jives. He's just sort of a little bit drunk.
A little bit of a nosy Parker.
A little bit nosy. And you know from your briefing when you sort of went through your briefing about being from Fenxworld, that the staff of nobility do tend to get a bit like this, and they gossip amongst themselves. You know it's not always harmful, but you know it can be harmful if the wrong things are said to the wrong person. And you do a very good job with your 4 degrees success of not giving anything away. But I would also like you to make a deceive roll for your general pretending to be a noble woman, please. And this will be off my little sheet mirror with the etiquette. You get a plus 35. You get a plus 35 for this.
Right.
This is to represent you knowing what you should and shouldn't say in front of a manservant.
35.
Yes. Oh dear.
Maybe I should do a re-roll.
You want to do a reroll?
Yes.
Okay, that would be a second fate point. Loose lips sink ships. So it'll be the same bonus plus 35 again. Yeah, that's good. Thank you for the 4.8. All right. So yeah, you chat to him for quite some time. Jives is a nice guy. You get the impression he's quite personable and he loves his lord. He enjoys his service here. He enjoys his time here. He enjoys the power and responsibility of being the main manservant of this place. And you do get the impression he is just literally digging for everyday gossip. You don't think for a minute he suspects you to be other than what you say you are. And he is looking for just rumours to spread amongst the little people.
Yeah.
To keep them amused. All right. So that's Mira for the next hour. I would also like you to make it's an hour. So knowing the speed that Leanne brings in real life, let's make 2 toughness tests. First at plus 30, the second at plus 20, please.
Hardcore drinker by now.
Yeah, you are actually getting there.
Plus 20.
Pious Sister Mira becoming a fucking hardened alcoholic.
It won't be the first time for a
Oh.
religious.
No, it wouldn't. I know of at least 2 in the game. Alcoholic priests.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm just gonna add that onto here. All right. Yeah. So that's you taking up to 2 p.m. Who else haven't I done? So Dick, Ishmael, Ramsey. What are you doing during this time?
I'll go practice some shooting in the range. I've done that before, I think.
Yeah, you have. There is a shooting range. Are you doing a full hour?
Yep.
Okay. So, what sort of ammo have you got? I mean, there is. I think you learned before actually that there is some cheap basic ammo.
Yeah, some practice ammo.
Yeah. So it's just standard ammunition. It means you don't have to use all your fancy shit.
Yeah.
So I will. What sort of shooting style are you practicing? Because you've got obviously pistols. Oh, you've got pistols. You've got your sniper rifle. You've got a few weapons.
Pistols.
Dual wielding?
No, just accuracy.
Okay.
Bullet bending.
Yeah, I think.
Not until rank 6. Okay, so you spend a good hour.
It's ricochet skills.
8, 20, 40, 60, 30, 20, 10, 0. I would like to make a. I've just added that to the wrong thing. That's why it didn't make any sense. Oh my god. Oh yeah, that's all right. Yeah, so you spend a good hour practicing with your pistol and shooting range. You feel like you're getting real good right now, Ramsey.
You're making those noodles look delicious. I'm not going to lie. Something about noodle eating. It's
He's eating it with chopsticks as well.
I know, yeah. I'm just like, give me some noodles.
We made ramen this afternoon for dinner. It was fucking banging.
Oh, yum. Sounds
Had like
good.
a soft boiled egg and everything.
Yeah, I love the look of that stuff. Tried it.
Vladimir and Ramsey. Sorry. Vladimir and Dericles, you're still travelling back from the mid-tide. Anything you'd like to do or say as you're travelling back?
I'd like to turn to Vlad and be like, Vlad, give me any point how to act with a lady. I have not got much experience.
Like a virgin.
That's the very time.
I fear, Derek, that I am not the best person to ask. I know Pincher has some experience in this department. Maybe he might be the one to ask you. But I advise you to listen to her and to compliment her. You know, say nice things about her. She seems to like you, Derek, and maybe get a new mask. You know, one that's
Let's give food.
more fashionable. I don't know.
Maybe she liked.
No, actually, you're right. Maybe the mask is a selling point. I don't know. But
Okay,
yes,
so
yes.
as a side note,
at this point,
masks in high society are actually a done thing in Hive Sibyls.
I'm gonna stop and wait for Vlad to wonder why I've stopped. I'm going to show you something I've never shown anyone before. Then I'm going to put my hood back, and then I'm going to take off my mask.
Okay, what do I see?
See a horribly scarred, burnt, pockmarked face of what should be a young man, but it's so ruined that you probably want him to put the mask back on.
I think you should, when you're with Malene, you maybe want to keep that on. Is it show and tell? I'm going to reach to the back of the mask. I'm going to take off the back of the mask, and I'm going to show Derek.
I don't think Derek.
You showed me yours. I don't believe you has. You showed me yours, so
I think
I'll show you mine.
A couple of the others have seen your face without the mask before, but I don't think Derek has had. What does he see, lad?
Okay, so it looks again. I think we may have a very similar quirk here. It's I'm horribly scarred as well. It's like chemical burns, like he's been in some horrible industrial acid-related accident. So you know, flesh scarred and sloughed away. But it looks horrific. But we're like scarred face brothers.
Gag like.
You're both looking at each other, going.
Forgive me, Vlad. I want. And then I'm going to put my mask on.
It's like looking into a mirror.
I too shall. It seemed only fair that, as you showed me your hideous face, that I too reciprocate with my own.
No,
we are more alike than I thought, Derek.
I thought that I was bad. I feel a bit better now. I feel a bit better now. Thank you, Vlad.
It was a terrible accident.
I would like to point
such
out,
a loss of life. Sorry.
Looks it.
I would like to point out that a few days back, when you first got dressed up for the party at Lord Barella's, Julia offered you, Vlad, makeup.
She did,
to
yes.
cover your scars.
She did indeed. I remember that, but I like the metal mask. It's part of my charm. So
helps against COVID as well.
Yeah,
COVID safe.
Yeah.
Let us make a pact here and now, bro. Never remove our mask.
Safe hero.
Yeah.
Yes, for the others.
Yes.
Well, actually, I do have Ishmael. He has said he's going to make me a new mask. Better, superior in every way.
Meanwhile, the one member of Cell 41 who has definitely lived the hardest, most troubled life, Dick Pincher, is handsome as fuck. Not a single scar upon his face. I mean, he's got that really nasty scar on his thigh, but we don't talk about that.
Perfect in every way.
Okay, so around 3 p.m., Vladimir and Dericles, you arrive back at Lord Stroph's manor, and as you enter the door, yanking each other off.
I'm so proud of you, Derek.
We swapped masks.
Look, you've both got your plus 10 RP bonus for this session.
This one smells of him.
Get your masks on next.
A pair of yours.
It smells like warm, stale dog lead.
Oh.
Okay, so as Vlad and Dericles enter the manor of Lord Stroph's is wandering out of side room with the data slate in his hand, and he sees you both enter, and he says, finally! Ha! Lord Rains! And he crosses over to you, and he hands you the data slate back.
I'll bow.
I shall salute and then accept the data slate.
I'll bow him inside the Quillage in formal fashion and say nothing.
Okay. He offers you a nod. And he says, He says to you, looked into the list of people, what, that you gave me on the old slate here. Yes, number of them. They're the ones marked processed. All of them missing people over the last few years, mid-hivers and upper-hivers. The mid-hivers, well, I'm afraid to say that aside from cursory investigations, it seems that no one's looked into them too hard, to be expected. You know, mid-hivers' lives not valued too greatly here, but the lesser nobles that are missing, it seems someone must have looked into them at some point. Such people disappearing tend to attract a lot of attention and pressure on the Protectorate. But yes, all of those markers processed, missing over the last 5 years.
We feared as much, Lord Stroves, but thank you for the confirmation.
No problem. No problem. If there's anything else I can help you with, I'll be at the bar.
Please. Yes, there was something. My man Derek here. He has a date.
A date.
A date, yes, indeed. And we was hoping that you could perhaps arrange for transportation.
Oh, absolutely.
Was it a shuttle, Derek? Or a car? You're after a shuttle, was it?
A shuttle, yes. I believe a shuttle would be the quickest method to help us achieve our destination.
Not cheap, though, is it, Derek?
A shuttle?
Well,
Nonsense. I have a number of them at my disposal. If you're after a particular venue, may I recommend Le Sharp Elegante, a little bit up in Ciro Spire. I had numerous pages of prep for it earlier, but you bypassed the call.
That sounds perfect, my lord.
I shall make a mental note of it, my lord. Thank you.
Oh yeah, Longstrokes happily arranges for a shuttle to take you the following evening to pick up Miss Tron.
Comes into the rest of the group. Hello, team. Shall we get together around the dining table and discuss our various successes, if we've had them?
Can't wait to eat.
What's it?
God damn on.
You hungry? I fancy some noodles. I don't know about anyone else. Fucking starving.
Oh, yes.
I've just finished the page I'm on. This book's very interesting.
At which point, Derek Lee appears in the bedroom.
Oh, you're doing some reading, reading, Pincher. Very good.
I'm just learning the ABCs, man.
You'll get the hang of it in no time, I'm sure.
Domination.
There we go, man. How's that?
Terrible.
You're doing admirably. You're doing admirably, Pincher.
Thank you, man.
Okay, so
yeah, let's get together and have a chat.
you're all convening.
Yes.
Little early in the day, isn't it, Mira?
Sorry?
Little early in the day, isn't it?
Yeah, you're at -10, by the way, Mira.
Never.
So all stats.
Never too early.
Never too early for a servant of the God Emperor.
I'm going to try and collar Dick Pincher and ask him for some tips on. I'm going to tell him I've got a date, and that if he had any tips, I'll do good luck with the.
Okay, get on with it then. I'm here.
Mr. Pincher, I got trouble you for a moment of your time. Might be unorthodox question I'm going to ask you.
Go on,
I have a date tomorrow, which will be leading me to the. I'm going to the Alabaster Court with a fine lady. I was wondering if you could give me any pointers on how to woo her.
What's on a date?
A beginner's guide.
Well, man, you need to first bring us something nice like
chainsaw.
And then both get fucked up and have a weird fucking hallucinogenic sex straight away on the altar. You'll have a whale of a time. That's good enough news for you, Dericles.
Dericles' eyes wide. These words.
Okay.
Remember,
I see.
you're the both
That,
at the
does that
same
always,
time. Sometimes
that
see
always
shit
work?
while you come. It'll be amazing for you, man. Just
Go
try
straight,
Pincher.
straight in there. Just, what do I
Pincher.
do? I've not had
Pincher,
any. I've not had
I'd
any.
like Dick to make a deceive roll, and I'd like Dericles to make a scrutiny roll, please.
Oh no.
what, deceive roll for Dick?
Uh-huh.
Oh, 1 second, I'm in the wrong game. My
Hmm.
God.
Get out of your game.
Get
Out of your own game, you fool.
Go in my game. Right, well, deceive roll. Click.
Scrutinize him.
Oh,
I don't know much, but I
Yeah, Dericles.
terrible idea.
You get the impression that Dick's winding you up.
Thank you for your advice. Take it under advisement. And then I'm going to raise an eyebrow and then fix the look and then just walk past.
the Dick's gonna go just for the very first time.
Oh dear.
Okay.
So how did your missions go, gentlemen?
Sit down after speaking to Pincher, looking a little bit.
Success. I have access to the
Good
Alabaster
morning.
Court with either myself or Ishmael.
Oh, jolly good, jolly good. Me and Derek has managed to bag himself an invite, thanks to his dashing good looks.
Good man. Is this about your days then at the Alabaster Court?
That's right.
And I'm going to nod to Vlad as he says, very kind.
Now how about you, Pincher? How did your
and now we have a
Yeah.
flashback of Vlad's eyes, and then you blur a little bit. Total hideousness hypocrisy here from the horribly scarred man.
Yeah. Hey, Vlad. My
Hello,
mission was
Pincher.
complete in
I
a
thought I was bad.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. All right. Oh,
Yeah,
jolly good.
Vox calls are amazing now. Vox calls are amazing, aren't they?
Yeah, you did it all yourself.
Yes, of course.
Oh, that's very good. Very impressive. Very good.
And
And you didn't use any grenades. And, and did you stay out of trouble?
I think I did.
Mira, did he stay out of trouble, Mira?
Out of the house.
He had a little incident on the toilet.
An incident on the toilet again. It wasn't like last time, was it, Pincher?
No, man. But yeah, mission success on this end.
Jolly good. It's all gone rather smoothly then. So have we learnt anything else about the court?
As you,
What does Dericles find when he's going to change later on?
I thought you were all heading to the dining room.
Yeah, we are. Well, we are kind of already there at the minute. We're already chatting, aren't we?
Yeah. So you all head to the dining room, and Sissy turns up, and she serves you some fine, spicy noodles and a nice broth. And then she
Yes.
makes herself scarce. So feel free to discuss your plans.
So I think rather than if we go with the one we went to see, I'll go with Heresy +1.
Cool.
Very good. So we're all arranged for the invite, so we'll be able to get in easy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, we can potentially take another pistol in my cavity.
Yeah.
So in case we need it. Obviously, Ramsey.
Are you shoving in your cavity?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be small, but it will fit.
My goodness, Dick's mouse.
So you know the Fatebringers would fit, but you doubt either Mira or Vlad's bolt pistol, or indeed Pincher's pistols probably wouldn't fit either because they're quite bulky.
Pincher's mouse.
So none of us can take weapons then.
You can
Or what
take
do we know about
blades. It's just firearms are prohibited. You do know blades are permitted.
Okay. Okay. So that means
Eviscerated.
no chainsaws. No chainsaws, Derek. And no grenades, Pincher. Remember, subtlety. We've got the invites. We don't need to...
Shot time.
Hmm?
And
I surrender my weapon when
Shogger Kai, you'll be able to get in,
I'm
surely.
going to go see Ishmael then next to so I can mount my thing in my sleeve on my what is it? You know that gun thing I've got so it shoots a shot out my wrist.
Okay, so you do have a pair of pistols that are like pistols that can be hidden in the forearms and projected into your hands. You also have your sanctified gauntlets, which are like chain gauntlets.
Yeah.
So, Ishmael, make an intelligence test, please, at +10.
Yeah.
We don't want to risk any incidents of security.
I was just about to say, I think they might be detected. Find out in a minute what I know. +10.
What is it?
Intelligence, Dave.
Yeah, intelligence at +10, please.
Wow.
Hey.
Yeah. You reckon you could probably hide these pistols. They might not stand up to serious scrutiny, but you think that you might be able to make it so that an Auspex detects the armored gauntlet and not the pistol inside.
Okay. I'll inform what I think I can do. Obviously, inform of the risks as well. It's not going to be 100%.
No, it's not going to be 100%, but you think you can do a pretty good job, knowing what you know from Lady Cleaves telling you about the defenses and the systems that they have. You think you can possibly hide Dick's secret pistols.
Okay.
Okay, I'll take that. Yeah,
if you're confident, Ishmael.
Well, like I said, it's not 100%, but I'm confident I can hide them through certain
I'd feel better if we had some weaponry in there. And so, what about everyone else? And so, Ramsey has a weapon, Ishmael has a weapon, and Pincher. So, what about Derek and Mira? Are you happy to wield only a blade, or is there any way you can?
I think you should both wield a pencil.
Pencil.
Well,
I can't really hide anything. Will I be wearing a dress?
I mean, there's always ways of hiding
Will I be
things.
wearing?
Yeah, you're going to be wearing a dress. Your weapon skill is great.
I would.
It's the ancient style of safe wick.
Take any weapons in.
What's that, Derek? What do you say?
I think he's lagging again.
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said, Derek.
I'm going to when I go and pick her up, I will wear a pistol on a belt under my robes, and I will take the chainsaw. But I'm going to leave them in the shuttle because it's just purely for if I'm chaperoning her to this place. I'd like, and we're going for a walk through the mid-hive. I don't want to take any chances.
Very sensible, Derek.
Yeah, I mean,
but I will not be taking any weapons in the building.
Many members of the upper hive, the nobility, do walk around armed with a pistol and a blade. They don't, carry fucking heavy bolters and shit like that, but they do usually carry auto pistols, las pistols, blades, things like that. But when you're in Alabaster Court, you know they're not permitted.
Yeah, I'm going to take my sword, but no guns.
Yeah, I mean, you've got.
I'll leave the eviscerator at home.
Very wise, Derek. Yes, no chain swords today.
I may take the smaller one.
The smaller chainsaw.
Just as a deterrent to anyone that might get the wrong impression.
When they said no blades, you don't know exactly what that means. Sorry, when they said blades were permitted, you don't know exactly what that means. A chainsword might be permitted, it might not. You don't really know yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Mira has a mono sword. I think Vlad does.
Yeah. I'll take my sword, but no weapons. So.
I mean, Me and Ramsey did ask about protocol at this place. So would we? What sort of blades you'd be allowed?
All Lady Cleve said was blades are permitted within, but not firearms.
You said blades, okay.
That leads me to believe that they'll have like a ticket system, sort of ticket system, or cloak or weapon. So it doesn't mean you can't travel there without them.
The thing is tomorrow, isn't it? So it's tomorrow evening. Is that right?
Yeah.
Could I have a letter sent to Lady Redstream asking her, is there any protocol I should be aware of? I've never been here before, obviously, and I don't want to make any terrible faux pas. So if she has any comments, so that I don't embarrass her, that'd be most obliging of her.
Okay, so yeah, you can write that letter, and Lord Stroph's arranged for a small cherubim servitor to take it to Lady Redstream.
Okay, so we're going to get in there, and then what? We need to try and find out where this dark crystal stuff is coming from. That's probably the best person is to either capture the head priest. He's obviously behind it all.
I mean, I could potentially take a thing with me to have a scuttle around, and also.
Do you think you'd be able to get it through security, or could it come down? We talked about abseiling down. Can Finn go down the side of?
Well, if I'm not taking a gun in my cavity, I'll just take a hand in my cavity.
Yeah,
that seems like the best. That seems like the best choice, doesn't it?
That's what you think, Ishmael.
I like the creative thinking. That's pretty cool. Yeah, the description of the internal hidden cavity says something small enough to be held in a hand.
Yeah.
So yeah, a fucking hand.
Okay. You're going basically, just to confirm, you're going to put a fist in your abdomen. Is that right? In your cavity. Okay, very good. That's as long as we got all that cleared up. That's nice.
It's a secret cavity.
I think that's a great idea, Ishmael.
Secret cavity.
So we can use that to look around and spy, can't we? Once we're inside.
We can have that, or architect some sort of divine. But he could potentially wander off.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
We might need him, we might not. It's there if we need him. But if I can't take anything else today, I may as well have him on there.
I think it's a great idea to send him in and have a little scout round while we're doing other things. I think that's a great idea.
Okay, so how much time do I need to do Dick's gun gauntlet? Bob?
Oh, not long at all. You could do it within an hour. You're basically just hiding it and creating some sort of shielding to prevent against scanning. It wouldn't take you long at all. You could do it in an hour.
Yeah, just make sure we get that done before.
Sure. It sounds like we've got quite a bit of time, so we're just planning as to what we're going to do. I mean, I guess we're going to play it by a bit, but I would think that they'll try and turn me into jelly at some point. I've got a feeling that's maybe on the cards.
I mean, is it best me having certain people with certain other people as you walk around? Obviously, we don't want to be in one big crowd, do we? You want to?
No, we need. Yeah. I think there'll be an element of playing it by ear once we're inside there, but I think ultimately the head guy.
If you're going to be under, they're definitely going to do. You're going to need some sort of backup close by.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It'd be good to maybe have either Ramsey or Pincher beside me.
Well, also, I've got a squad of dudes I can call in, but I'm not sure if they can go toe to toe with because it sounds like they've got a personal army. To be honest,
I think we'll evaluate it when we get there and try and scope it. But I think we
get them on standby.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it does any harm to have them on standby.
All right, well, we'll try.
I mean, it may be that once we're in there, we have to, go full Inquisition and get serious.
So what you do know about Obsidian Squad, Ramsey, is they are not your average everyday troopers. You've heard that the guards of this place are Magistratum. They're basically the fucking popo, yeah?
Yeah.
But Obsidian Squad are like Navy SEALs.
Nice.
They're not a big squad. There's 10 of them max. You don't know. You know that they do a lot of different work. They do a lot of wet work, a lot of undercover work. You know they're always on standby to some extent. Maybe not all of them, but there's always some of them on standby ready for your call, and they will respond to you as quickly as they can, depending on where they are.
Right.
You know they are fucking. You know they're pound for pound worth. They're worth about 4 Imperial Guardsmen each.
Yeah.
An Imperial Guardsman is worth more than your average policeman.
Cool. Well,
But I do kind of feel that once we're in there, we might need to just take the whole fucking rotten edifice down and try and take his head priest. Like,
I've got my axe, that's all I need.
Like weapons.
sorry, say that again.
Oh, I went off my bolt pistol. Oh.
I still, well,
I have a sword.
I mean, I don't really necessarily need weapons, as in I can maybe take over some people and get them to give us their weapons.
All right.
You know what I mean? As in stuff like that.
Yeah.
As in just
Suppose I can
compel
pick
them to
some up
take.
on the way,
As in we can take weapons off of their guards if it
Yeah.
comes to that.
Yeah.
So we're not like it's not like we'll be defenseless once we're in there.
You're never defenseless when you're in the Inquisition, are you? I mean, let's be honest. You've got the ability to conceal weapons. Ishmael's axe can hide as a staff. Yeah, Vlad. Don't forget as well. You've got call out.
Yeah, I know exactly. I mean, I was planning on calling the refractor field, and then at least yeah, that's the plan. That's hidden there. So
you're not defenseless by a long shot.
Yeah. So
that's
I think
the idea of you guys.
I really do think that we have to kind of wait until we're there and see what it's like inside, and then take it from there and then reassess.
Okay.
So I don't think there's any point making too much of a plan because we don't know what we're in for. So
yeah.
You know what they say about plans and the first contact with the enemy and all that?
Certainly do. So we've got everything. Oh no, he's gone for second noodles.
Yes.
What a tease. What a tease.
I'm gonna have another piss because my bladder's and I'm gonna do a thing.
Like
Some chopsticks. I love noodles.
I've got bachelor's barbecue beef.
Oh.
Curry
Noodles. Looking good, yeah.
I'm gonna have a drink. What's later?
Sounds good.
Have you had the noodles from Trade Winds?
Me?
Yeah.
No. But I love Trade Winds though. It's great.
Honestly, go for the green packs of noodles, not one where they're like spewing fire.
Yeah.
Far too hot. I mean that because like the duck pictured on the chicken breathing fire. Do not go for one with the chicken breathing fire.
No.
Too hot. You can put like quarter sachet in
Yeah.
to accept it. But the noodles are amazing.
Yeah. Trade Winds is awesome.
Do good sake there as well.
I tell you who used to do.
I get sake from there. Yeah, it's lovely.
We used to get some sake from Asda as well, didn't we? That was quite good. Wasn't it good? I thought it was all right.
Oh yeah, it's decent. Yeah, it was all right. The one from Trade Winds is a good one. Yeah, nice.
Right. Just wait for Al to get back, and we're going to move on. I'm going to switch here. I'm going to open it up. Right. Okay, so let me just. I feel like I need this playing for me.
Are you putting some more music on?
I might be.
Yeah, just let me know if you do, because it doesn't seem to be working for me, that's all. So I might log out and log back in again or something.
Yeah,
Have you got
I
it
am.
muted or something?
Sorry?
Have you got it muted?
No, well, no, it says there's volume on the audio
I
section.
couldn't turn it down for the last stuff. You know, when you put it on, it won't stop. I couldn't even turn it down. Playing on
Okay.
full volume.
I'm going to try logging out.
I just let it play out.
I'm going to try going back out, come back in again, and see what happens.
don't know. I don't know.
The
I
music
just
on.
can see in here.
I haven't even got the right one loaded.
I can see. Ah, okay. I can see.
Let me just test this.
I can see or hear. Ah, no, I've got it now. Yeah, it's working.
You can hear that, yeah?
Yeah, it's working.
All right. As it happens, that was totally pointless because the file I was looking for doesn't even exist anymore because Roll20's fucked me over. Anyway, so as you come to the end of your planning for tomorrow evening, Vlad, you feel a presence, a pull, something on the very edge of your consciousness, and it's familiar, distant, like a voice carried on the breeze, indistinct, and it calls to you, vying for your attention. I'd like you to make a Psyniscience roll, please.
Okay, that's good. 2 degrees.
I just summoned a beer. Just excuse me while it arrives.
Call item. Useful
Call
minor
item.
power, that one.
Oh! Oh, come on, you could have put it in my hand. Anyway. Vlad, you feel a presence you haven't seen for over 24 hours. It's the presence of Reg, calling for you, seeking you.
You're alive! Thank the gods, Emperor.
Do you connect with Reg?
Of course.
No. You lost contact with Reg as the crow clambered into a small tunnel in a rocky formation, fleeing the vast avian predator that chased him there. Something drew Reg's attention deeper into the tunnel, and you got a brief sense of something writhing in the darkness before the connection was severed.
That bodes well.
Before Reg severed the connection. You have entered many minds. Some are easy to peer into. Some are a struggle. And on occasion, the battle of wills has led you to being shut out of the target of your delving into the subconscious. But what happened yesterday with Reg was different. Reg was just gone. And now Reg returns. And you realize he initiated this contact, not you. Reg soars again across the desert wastes. And like before, you see, feel, and hear all that Reg does. Although seeing is perhaps not the right word. It's a heady rush to feel what Reg experiences. Almost too much sensory data. And it arrives in a torrent, almost overwhelming you as the desert rushes by beneath his wings. He flies very low to the ground, following the deep gouge in the hard-baked earth that you guided him to before. And along with the sensory input you get from Reg, you feel his jubilation, his pride, a sense of accomplishment. Reg has done something incredible. And now you feel he once again searches for the walking city as you commanded. What would you like to do?
I don't know. How is my ability to talk with Reg, communicate with him at this sort of distance? How's that work? Or
I mean, you have your ability that you've always had, where you can basically spirit walk to him. Commanding him at this distance would be a hell of a feat, but you can step out of your body.
Okay, I'll go to my room where my runic symbols are, and I'll yeah, sure, why not? Let's teleport over to him. What I want to do is I want to try and find out what he's been up to. That's what I want to know.
Okay.
So I'm gonna actually, what about telepathy? What's the range on that? Can I talk to him?
I think it's about 1 kilometer, to be honest.
Okay. Fair enough.
He's much further than that.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll spirit walk. I'll go for a spirit walk then.
Okay, do it.
Okay, we'll go for a. I'll try invocation first. Passes.
Okay, so you double your willpower bonus.
And then we'll go for spirit walk. Where's that? Sorry. Can't see it. Projection 21.
Yeah,
so I'll go
projection.
for. I'm gonna go for a 2 dicer.
Yeah, I knew about that. Yeah.
Okay. That's pass.
With the speed of thought, you soar out of the hive, passing through the walls, the heavy layers of plasteel and ferrocrete, and you're out in the desert waste, and within the blink of an eye, you fly along at Reggie's side, and Reg turns to you and gives you a side-on look. He cries in the desert.
Okay, I'm gonna use telepathy. I'll just use a 1 dice. 10 plus 7. So pass with a perils. I'm gonna re-roll that, please, with a hit point I've not used any yet. Off with your fucking perils. Okay, that's fail.
Yeah, it is. What was that? That was telepathy, wasn't it? So yeah, you do not get telepathy off. Reg does not speak, for Reg is a crow. A shale crow, a simple reptilian flying critter from Acanthos, once bonded to the will of Tissiak. But no more, Vlad. Reg is now bonded to you. He is your servant. Although Reg clearly has their own will, they serve you happily, and you sense this. He communicates this thought that they are pleased to serve.
What is this they? I'm gonna send back a querying thought. I thought you was the last of your kind.
I would like you to make a scrutiny roll for yourself and a deceive roll for Reg.
No, it's like to roll against myself. Okay, so scrutiny for me. That's 1 degree of failure. And then for Reg, I don't believe Reg has deceive or any skill in it whatsoever. So Reg has 6 degrees of failure.
What Reg just did, Reg has done before. Many times. All his kind do this. It is nature. It is natural. All creatures do this. And reluctantly, Reg shows you something. In the small tunnel where Reg climbed away from the predator, you see the remains of several worm-like creatures that have been consumed. And in the corner of this chamber, you see this pile of biomatter like nothing you've ever seen before. It looks regurgitated. And next to it, you see a clutch of 8 eggs.
Reg, I thought you were a male.
And you feel a sense of pride and satisfaction coming from Reg.
Okay. Regina, I guess it is.
And as Reg speeds towards the east, he turns his head, her head, towards you as you glide ghost-like by her side. And she looks right at you with her eyeless, sightless face. And then in the center of her head, you see an eye open, amber in color, distinctly human. And a voice whispers in your mind.
Yeah. You know, it's something where you look at the guys and then you have
I know what's going on.
On the horizon, something vast appears, moving with a ponderous, plodding gait. The gigantic, beetle-like form of a vast city, striding along the desert on hundreds of mechanical legs. Ambulon, the walking city of Scintilla.
Okay, I'm gonna send a burst of pride and also happiness because I'm gonna be a grandfather now.
And as you send back this burst of pride to Reg, you remember the words you spoke a couple of days back to Dick Pincher with Reg in earshot. I'm the crow father now, Pincher, you said.
Oh dear. Very good.
And that's where we'll leave it, guys.